And we are back with the MMmtg podcast. As always, we are here with me, Miles, and my associates.
And
Fernley.
And Fernley. That was a bit of a sassy Fernley this time. Seems like you might be not as excited for Core 21. Is that the case?
Nah, dog. There's too much stuff in this set,
man.
bro. There's too much. It's too thick, bro. It's too thick.
Well, I didn't know if I actually wanted to hear that, but it is now recorded for all time. But yeah, today we'll be talking about Core 21. You might be thinking, whoa, you guys talked about Ikoria spoilers, bro, right? No, we did not talk about Ikoria spoilers. You might be thinking, wow, these guys suck. They just skipped Ikoria spoilers. We did not. We actually have a lost episode. We recorded it. It was done over Discord. It became a whole fiasco. So it's kind of a lost episode. But to make up for that, we will be doing an Ikoria sort of set review later, along with the Ikoria commander decks. We're going to do a big just look back on the impact and the cards and what we liked and didn't like about the set. But that is not today. Today, it's all about hype, gentlemen. Today we're going to talk about some of the news, but mostly we're talking about Core 21 spoilers and all the different reprints and new cards and different aspects of the set. And without further ado, do you guys want to talk about anything before we head into the news?
Jeskai Granny is back, bro.
You're spoiling.
Jeskai Granny, bro.
You can't talk about that card. It's too powerful.
Ooh,
Bro.
she gonna make you cookies and then
Beep!
face, bro. You're gonna have to bleep that out. Bad.
It's going to sound really bad, but I don't remember if we bleep things or not. I know I removed something once, but I think most of the time I leave it in. I think somebody said something like really heinous, and I got rid of it. But I don't recall any other times that I censored us.
Sorry.
Beep. Bro, I'm gonna censor you right there. You can't say
You
that
have to
word.
censor 2 words now.
You can't say that word.
say the
That
C
one
word.
virus has done a lot to me.
Jeez,
I've been
bro.
inside for too
The
long.
Phyrexian oil, got
No,
you.
just cut
The
out.
Phyrexian oil.
Is that what we're renaming it? It's a rebrand.
The oil has gone to everyone.
Dude, I'm complete. Me, I for one, I'm complete. I don't know about you guys.
Nah,
I can see your skin shining.
Yeah, that's right, bro. I need to be shiny for these shiny full art, alternate art Ugins, stuff like that. Core 21, bro.
Which one?
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna go into the news, and then we're gonna talk about Core 21. So since we accidentally ended up missing an episode between the previous one that we've done and I think the last one we did was Ikoria speculation. And then now we're skipping straight to Core 21 spoilers, which is a huge jump. So there's a lot of stuff that happened. It's been a while. But anyway, there's going to be a lot of news that we missed in that time. And we're not going to have enough time to go over all of it. So we picked some of the stuff that we kind of wanted to talk about or thought might have been important to just touch on for anybody who doesn't follow that stuff too closely. The first thing is the bannings. The bannings in Standard, kind of par for the course. At this point, Oko, Veil of Summer not too long ago, and now it's Agent of Treachery and Fires of Invention. What do you guys think about these bannings this time around?
Finally, bro.
Finally.
I feel like at this point, whenever there's a banning, I always feel happy, but then I'm always triggered by what comes afterwards because there's always something else. Like right now, it's blue-green decks are just coming back and destroying the meta.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a catch-22. You never really know what the best deck is keeping down, but at the same time, it's like you can't just let, Luris be the only deck forever. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So there's also the rules change at the same time. So if you guys didn't know, besides Fires of Invention, Age of Treachery being banned, they changed the way the companion mechanic worked entirely. So the companion mechanic was that you could just cast it once per game out of your sideboard. Now once per game you could pay 3 mana sorcery speed to put the companion in your hand for your sideboard, and then now it's just in your hand. So nerfed it a little bit. The slower ones weren't affected too much, but the really fast ones were kind of nerfed a little bit. Still see play though. People still play Luris. People are still playing Yumori first, things like that. But it's kind of a positive change. It's not what anyone had kind of expected, but things are going to be a little bit different. And I think once Core 21 hits, we're going to start seeing things that are Like, we had a lot of degeneracy right now. I think Core 21 is going to be powerful enough that we're going to take a big step away from everything that we're having problems with right now, especially with these bannings right here.
I just want rotation to hit already.
I'm not even going to lie. I've been so kind of like... I've been taking a little bit of a step back for school. I totally thought that rotation was going to happen with this set. And I was like, yeah, finally, I wonder what's going to be. And everyone's talking about combos with these cards and cards from Core 20. And I was like, wait, what? So, it's going to be pretty weird. And kind of getting a little bit off guard right there.
I don't know. I'm not excited because of one spoiler. Can I just say one card?
You could,
we're not there yet.
My vote is that you could live your life, bro. Go right ahead.
I'm just not excited because already, was it blue-green, already the most dominant deck. I'm not excited for Ugin joining them. I don't want to turn 3 Ugin.
So what is the line that gets you to turn 3 Ugin here?
You just, was it, you play the thing that, there's the one drop that puts a land in play.
Oh, the Arboreal Grazer.
Arboreal Grazer, and then you just grow Spiral. And then you can play
same
like
way.
Nissa and then double the mana. So there's like fast ways of putting it into play.
The same way people have been playing Gyruda, right? I forget. Gyruda was like the hot shit when everything came out, right? That was the first big thing. I haven't even seen it since then.
I know.
Even before the banning and rules change, Gyruda has been like MIA.
I remember people were saying, it's like, oh, this is the deck that's gonna be banned.
It's like, nah. Gyruda is just chilling, bro. Gyruda, he's living his life. I bet people...
I was fine with that deck, but it's like as soon as Agent Treachery just started creeping out, it was like, that was just...
Yeah, when Gyruda came out, like you find a few decks quickly that beat it, and you're having a good time. It's like your deck versus Gyruda decks, and it's fine. And then once people figured out that every single deck in the format can just cast Agent of Treachery really easily, you're kind of like, ah.
Since when do you cast it? It just comes into play.
Yeah. You just get it out super easily. And it's just annoying, and it doesn't make sense, and it sucks. So they got rid of it, and I say, good riddance.
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage. Fire's Invention, I was kind of ambivalent towards. I mean, it was pretty strong, and I guess it was a really big percentage of the meta, but it wasn't. I don't think it was like.
I don't
think it was unbeatable, you know.
I mean, it's not. It's one of those decks that it's beatable. The problem is just so consistent.
Yeah.
And being able to just dump out 5-drop after 5-drop on turn 5 is still pretty insane.
Yeah, so
especially with open mana.
Yeah. But anyway, Ding Dong, the Witch is dead. These 2 cards are gone. Off with their head.
I just want
now
standard.
What to play instead?
I just want standard to rotate already, like I said. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be cool with the shakeup with the set, but at the same time, it's just it's kind of like an aftermath scenario where it's like you just have to wait till everything is cleared up.
Yeah, we'll see what format was designed for post War of the Spark. Man, I'm done with this. I'm done with War of the Spark, bro. Anyway,
done with it, bro.
I'm done with like Throne of Eldraine.
Really? Well, that ain't going away anytime soon.
Exactly.
What's wrong with Throne of Eldraine, man?
I mean, have you seen how many cards like I'm banned from that set?
1, 2,
2,
3, 8. No, 2.
3.
What's the third one?
Fires now.
What was the first 2? It was
Oko and Happily Ever After. No, not
Happily Ever After.
Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time. It was Once Upon a Time.
Bro, Happily Ever After is so strong, bro. Each player gains 5 life for 3 mana, dude. What the hell? That's so bad. If someone plays that, I concede immediately, just every time. But I forgot about Once Upon a Time. They got rid of those. That's so long ago. It feels like ancient history.
Remember when was it Questing Beast was the hot card?
You still see play.
Yeah,
it's not like so oppressive anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
Now it's like you see it and you're like, oh, okay, I gotta get rid of that.
Kind of makes me sad actually, because it's like I actually enjoyed it when that card was on top of the meta compared to everything else now.
Yeah, just like a 4/4 with haste, like.
It's like, oh look, it's Uro. That's like, oh god.
Yeah, Uro's crazy.
But
I love
anyway.
Uro. Yes, so that was that news. The next news is the other banned cards. Bit of a touchy subject, but it's kind of like all over the place right now, and it would feel weird to be doing like a Magic news segment without mentioning it. So yeah, so I could put I'll put the names of the cards up right now. I think it'd be kind of weird faux pas to put the actual cards up, I guess. But they banned a whole slew of cards based on their racial undertones, or I guess for at least one of them, overtones. Basically, they found a bunch of cards that they deemed problematic from the way past, and they've kind of just like thought erasured them, like tried to. They've been trying to remove them from existence, I guess. So if you go on Gather and you look at those cards, there's just a placard that says, like, you know, hey, these cards were bad, bro. No, these cards, we no longer condone this card's existence. And then I think you can't buy them on TCG Player anymore.
Probably
like
eBay is the only other source.
Yeah, you can go on eBay. You can go to your local game store. They're not going to, like, throw the cards away because the Wizards told them to, you know what I mean? But they're trying their best to, like, kind of, like, remove the idea of them from existence. Which is kind of like, all right, you know what? That's a whole can of worms. But yeah, that happened, and that's what it is. You know, what do you guys think about that? Is that the right move? Is that worth their time, or is that important? Or
it's just a PR move. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
It's like a. I understand they're trying to make a gesture, but I don't think anyone was actually like sitting there with their blood boiling, like, I can't believe a card from 1993 is slightly offensive, bro. Like, I don't think anyone was even thinking or talking about that, you know?
I don't think anyone even was paying attention to any of the cards.
90% of those cards I didn't even know existed until they told me. You know what I mean?
Same.
Yeah, like, they told me that they existed, and some of them they said that they were slurs, and I didn't know they were slurs. Like, they were the ones telling me about this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they could have left it alone, and I would have just thought, hey, if I ever saw them, I'd be like, hey, these are some really dumb cards from Arabian Nights, and I don't care about them. If you saw them, I'd probably throw them away, honestly. But yeah, I guess they're gone now, and then you're not allowed to see them. Goodbye, these cards.
Rest in pieces.
On to a little bit more exciting news, something that everybody loves. Secret Layers. That's right, everybody. The Secret Layers summer drop has come and gone. It was, like a flash of lightning. It came and gone 1 week, 5 different Secret Layers, 1 bundle. Absolutely insane. So they've got... I guess we could just go over them individually, and then we should mention, so there's 5 of them. They all at different price points and different cards in them, and there's 1 super bundle that has all 5, and you get a random fetch land from the Fetch Land Secret Lair. So, that being said, individually, we have, I guess we can start with the bird one, because that one's kind of cool. I like that personally. They got the...
I like birds.
I like
birds.
That's some high level commentary right there. That's what people tune in to hear. Is Fernley saying, "I like birds."
I like birds.
Fernley, why do you like birds?
Because bird pretty, and you allergic, haha.
It's because bird is the word.
You guys are.
Bird.
Dude, we're like on high tier with like Joe Rogan right now. Like, we're that good of podcasters. That's what we're there. We're just
when are we
this
teaming up with
insightful.
Spotify, bro?
Exactly, dude. Why isn't? Well, I mean, I guess we could be on Spotify, but I don't want to.
I don't think.
I figured out how to do it, but it requires you to you have to pay for to host your own RSS feed, and then you apply through Spotify to do it. And I was like, that's a lot of work for the MMmtg podcast.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe once we get like 1,000 subscribers or something.
That's high hopes, bro. I can't imagine 1,000 people listening to you say I like birds, man.
Nah, who doesn't, bro?
Nah, man, we're good, bro.
This is why we should be on TikTok instead.
Do a whole podcast on TikTok?
Yeah,
like well, how long is a TikTok? Like
I don't know,
a minute
like
at most or something?
seconds.
How many TikToks would it be?
It's like 100 TikToks in a row.
No, imagine you lose your place into TikToks too. I don't even have TikToks. So I don't know if
I don't know. I don't think any of us know how it works.
Nope, nothing.
That'll be funny though. It's like, so you don't know which ones you've watched. So it's like, if it's like someone bothers you and they just like come over, like scroll up.
We would upload one podcast and we'd have more TikTok posts than like most people on the platform. It's like, there's like hundreds of them right now. You watch them.
What if we had a podcast, but it's like on TikTok, but it's like you release like 10 a day or something? So you just give like 10 minutes, like 10 TikToks.
We do like
For the
10-second
podcast.
updates.
What if we take it one step further? What if we uploaded our whole podcast, but only to like those ringtone websites? So like the whole podcast is cut up into like 1,000 ringtones for your phone, and you have to download all the files separately. That would be amazing. Everyone, you have to jump through hoops to hear Fernley say he likes birds.
I like birds.
But on the plus side, you could just download the I like birds spot, and that could be your ringtone. Every time you get a call, it's just Fernley saying he likes birds. Anyway, speaking of birds, oncological. I don't remember what the term was. I'm bad. But anyway, oncological. Bird Studies is the name of the secret layer. It's got a few pretty cool cards in it. Most importantly is the different arts that they did, where they usually do with secret layers. And the first card that they've got is the Birds of Paradise. Have you guys seen this one?
No, bro.
I have. It looks like Birds of Paradise in real life.
It looks like birds.
Just like the actual bird.
Dude, look at those birds, bro. They look all pretty
There's
and
also a
realistic
Gilded
and
Goose,
stuff.
Dovescape.
Whoa, why you just running through them, bro? We gotta talk.
Run. It's fast. Go.
Birds.
This
What do you
isn't
mean?
Sonic. This is birds,
This
bro.
is-
This is not Sonic.
This is a sprint, man.
Oh yeah, and they got Baleful Strix as well, and Swan Song.
Swan song.
Get it, bro? Yeah, so they got some pretty cool arts going on there. It's not really fantasy art, really. I guess maybe Dovescape is kind of,
I feel
but
like
it's really just kind of
I
real
think it's a
photorealistic
mix.
birds.
It's a mix of the two. It's like photorealistic and a little bit of fantasy.
It's kind of like those some of those children's picture books with the
Yeah.
somewhat realistic art. It's pretty cool. I like it.
It's inspired by reality, bro.
Going on to some of the more exciting drops that they did. I like the tattoo one they did. They have the
Oh yeah.
I don't remember what it's called, but it's
How
the
many people do you think are actually gonna get tattoos of that stuff?
there has to be
I
at least.
I hope nobody.
There'll probably be
Really?
at least one of each.
That'll be
One
I
for
feel
every
like.
one.
I guess the pithing needle just looks like a normal tattoo, so I swear there's probably some like
I would-
freshman college student who already has that tattoo. They probably didn't draw that one. They just took a picture of somebody's like tattoo that they already got for like $25.
So I want to talk about which one was that? The Spell Pierce one. That one looks like something you'd see like if you go to the pier or something or a carnival and you'd see it like on one of those walls painted
Oh, that's true.
like on the
Like a mural
wizard.
or something?
Yeah, like one of those mirror walls.
It's a mural of somebody who's trying to draw their version of like
A wizard.
God or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what it looks like to me. It's
I would say the two arts that people probably would get tattoos of are probably going to be the Pithy Needle and the Eternal Witness.
You say nobody would want to get the spell pierce on their body, bro. You don't want that. You don't want that like on your bicep, bro, or.
I'll just get that on your
Beep. Whoa, bro.
His
Dude.
donkey's cheeks. Bro.
Donkey cheek, bro.
damn
Donkey cheeks.
Wait,
on your buttocks.
that's a little bit scary, bro.
Nada.
Yeah. Anyway, so they got Pithing Needle, Eternal Witness, Blood Artist, Spell Pierce, and Aquatic Nexus. You can get that in a secret layer drop. They got this cool tattoo style. I like the idea of Blood Artist, but the execution is like, I don't know. I feel like that would be really weird to see a tattoo like that on somebody, just with the palette and everything. I don't know. That's just me. Everybody gets their own kind of tattoos, bro. Oh yeah, this is the one that I forgot about. So the other secret layers, I think, is the Path Not Traveled, and it's got, planeswalkers, who the arts are. It's drawings of people cosplaying as the planeswalkers. So they have the planeswalker cards they already made, and then some people cosplayed as those, and then they redrew those people as the characters, and then made that the art.
This is a lot of work, but alright.
I think one of the problems is I don't know who these people are. You
Yeah.
know, like I don't know anybody who knew who they were.
What are you talking about? That's Vraska.
Like, dude, what if they got The Rock and he dressed up as Jace? Like, I'd buy that card.
Okay, yes. If they had, instead of getting cosplayers, they had gotten The Rock somehow, I would buy like 100 of them.
Dude, they get The Rock to dress up as every character.
Gee, that's what they should do. That shouldn't even be a secret layer. That should be in the normal set. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure that these people are probably pretty famous cosplayers, and they seem to have done a good job. I just, I don't know too many people.
We're just not part of that community.
I don't know too many people that follow cosplay, and I mean, maybe there's people here listening that do, and in which case, maybe these are for you. But I don't think they're for us personally.
Because we're gonna get them later.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna
never open it. That's fine.
I'm gonna sit on it. Anyway, the next one is Mountain Go. So Mountain Go is literally just 4 lightning bolts. It's 4 lightning bolts with some brand new arts, and they're pretty cool. I like these new ones. I really like the Jaggedy S lightning one. I guess there's technically 2 of those, but I think you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, what do you guys think about this lightning bolt one?
Bolt
the bird.
Bolt the bird.
Good talk, guys. Good talk. Do you think that people are gonna buy? Like, is someone planning to buy this so that they could use all 4 of those as their playset, or are people trying to buy 4 of them so they can use one art?
No, dog. You buy 4 of them, and you play 4 decks where you run only one of the versions in each deck. That's the power play.
Well, what I'm thinking is that I think that most people like to have theirs matching. So if I was playing, I would want maybe to get like 3 of my friends and we each buy 1 of them, and then we trade so that each person has 4 of the same art or something.
You just go with the power.
That's what a bunch
good talk, bro. Good
talk. That's what a bunch of people did for what was the first one they did? The blue Serum Visions.
People wanted the same art of Serum Visions.
So it's like they just bought multiple copies of Serum Visions. That's why it's like and some people have like a thing for certain arts compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
So that's why like some of the arts are just pricier than the other ones. So I think they did the same thing with the Thalia one. So people just bought multiple Thalias.
Huh.
Cool.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, we weren't really kind of looking at the secret layers at that time. I wasn't super interested, but I wanted these ones, especially because the best of, in my opinion, I think it's the best of this super drop. Can You Feel with a Heart of Steel? This is the robot artifact secret layer, and it's got literal like mechs, like mechs and shit on it. Oh my god! So they got Darksteel Colossus, Arcbound Ravager, and Walking Ballista. With Walking Ballista like literally being some kind of Transformer or Gundam or something.
It's still a machine gun bastard to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's got machine guns on
his
his shoulders.
Tank on stilts, bro.
It looks like Optimus Prime if he was like chromed over with some brass, man.
I'm not gonna say this, or actually, I am gonna say the name is actual cringe.
What?
How can you feel with a heart of steel?
That's not cringe, bro.
That's
pretty
cool. That's pretty cringe.
That's pretty cringe.
You know what? It doesn't matter because
That sounds like
we're playing Magic together. And it's already cringy.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're all playing Magic together. We're talking about a $40 set of like 3 cards, bro.
I makes it even more edgy.
Like we're kind of cringe, bro.
So how cringe this is.
That's actually, you know what? Scrap the rest of the podcast. We're doing a philosophical debate. Are we cringe?
Are we?
How meta can we get? Are we cringe, bro?
I mean, that's not even a debate. It's just one-sided.
It's one-sided. It's not a debate. Like, yeah, bro, we're pretty cringe. Not going to be lying.
You should just give up your cringe, bro.
Your cringe. Hand it over. We just got cringe checked, bro.
Dang,
I don't even know how to react to that. I think that okay. So that's the super drop. You can buy it. You were able to buy them individually, or you could have got the super drop. I think we bought the super drop, so maybe we'll show you guys that later or talk about it later. But going on from that and keeping on with time, we are going to talk briefly about Double Masters. So Double Masters is double the master.
It's double the master for double the money for double your depression.
It's double the rares, double the other thing, double the
other thing, double the other.
That's 3 strikes. We're out. That's bad. You know what?
End the podcast. Let's go eat more pizza.
To be fair, we haven't podcasted in a little bit, so give us some slack. But anyway, yeah, Double Masters, the new master set that has come out. As Angel said, double the master, double the rare, double the fun, double the price. So,
that was friendly.
That was for price.
Well, I can't take credit for that.
It's a mix of your guys' statements. But anyway, Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's got some premium stuff. It's got some cool spoilers, but not all the spoilers are out yet. So we decided we would just talk about that in a future episode when more stuff is out. And we also, speaking of that, we have also Jumpstart is the next thing to talk about, which is Angel. I think you know a little bit more about this one than I do.
So Jumpstart is essentially it's an interesting set because it's mostly you open the pack and you can get 2 packs together, you put them together, and you can play in right out of the gate essentially. The packs are pretty much themed. They're not 15 card packs; they're 20 card packs. It was interesting, but there's 7 of the cards in there are lands, basic lands, and then the rest are based on a theme. So, for example, there's wall. There's like wall for Phyrexian. There's seismic, which is weird. So it's just around around these themes. There's a lot of cards in this set. I think there's 500. And the booster box is 24 packs only, I believe.
I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, I think it's I read
anything that we don't know, I could put up afterwards.
Yeah. So it's a 24 packs box. It's pretty much going essentially almost the same thing as mystery boosters. You're getting a few more cards. Actually, might be the same. Honestly, it's just those extra cards are just lands.
Okay.
Now I think about it.
Yeah, so that's something to look forward to. And when we get with our spoilers going on right now, there's some interesting stuff. Like I think the Ballistic Study is coming out, some new interesting cards. But again, with like with Double Masters, we'll probably put those two together in an episode when all the spoilers are out, so we can actually talk about the set in full. And that being said, if you guys don't have anything to say about what we've talked about so far, we can move on to the main topic, the main course of this 2-3 course meal, bro.
A juicy steak, bro.
Yes, this podcast is a juicy steak. You just hit the nail on the head. Everybody, give it up for Fernley. Always, he knows what to do. That's all I can say. He just, anytime that we don't know how to transition, he just figures it out super easily. But that's right, everybody. We're gonna be talking about Core 21, the spoilers. The kind of ways you can buy it and the different styles and stuff, everything. We're going to dissect it. We're going to get right into it. So, without further ado, I think we should just start with how can you get Core 21? So, Core 21, obviously, just a normal core set. You get it in the booster boxes, yada yada. But, very, very interestingly, they will have the collector's edition for this core set, which is pretty interesting. What do you guys think about their decision to move to not only continue with collector's editions to this point, but now they're just giving it to a core set?
Dude, I don't care. It makes playing standard cheaper for the average player.
That's
and
true.
For the collector, you get some really, really nice cards.
That is true.
You get some really nice looking cards.
I will say that the only advantage about the collector is it's actually a little bit better to open than opening a box somewhat.
A little bit, I mean.
Because
a lot of it, man. What are you talking about?
It depends. It's like there's always like a hit on those when you're opening the collectors. You have a chance of hitting those high priced cards more often. I think I cracked a bit. I think every box I almost got like 10 mythics. But those are also including some of the planeswalker intro deck planeswalkers,
which don't count.
I would say though you'd usually get like at least one, and then the rest were just actual mythics.
Mm-hmm.
So like it all depends. It's like what the heavy hitters are in the set, and there's actually quite a lot.
I mean, this set's got some of the heaviest hitters in a while.
My only concern, I would say, are just the amount of variance.
What do you mean for the core set, or just collectors in general?
Just seeing the core set and collectors. It's 2021 as a whole.
I mean, I would rather have there be a big variance than the set just not be good, honestly. And we're back. We had to do a quick little pause due to some noise. But yeah, we were talking about how you can get the Collector's Edition for Core 21, and also you can get the Planeswalker decks, which this time around they've got 5 different Planeswalker decks. I know, Fernley, you were taking a look at them before.
Yeah. I was only looking at the cards in them. I wasn't too interested in the Planeswalkers themselves, even though they have some pretty interesting alts. I mean, they're still like deck Planeswalkers, so they're not really that great. But there is one card I was looking at. I don't know if I should say the name of it.
You can. Go right ahead.
All right, there's this Liliana's Scourger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just a 3-mana 3/2, but the ability to it says at the beginning of each end step, if a creature died this turn, you may put a loyalty counter on Liliana Planeswalker you control.
That's pretty good. I mean, you can combine it with Lilianas that are like actually good,
Yeah.
and then just be killing creatures and get your Lilianas to ult really fast.
Especially since like most Lilianas have like really really strong alts. It's like I think it'll accelerate the game pretty well, and it's definitely a commander card.
Yeah, man.
Because there's so many iterations of Lilianas you can play, and Liliana, it's like most Lilianas are actually really nice to play.
Yeah, and the Planeswalker deck cards, those are all standard legal, right?
Yeah, all of them are standard legal, so I mean, if you're playing like with a bit of Lilianas in your deck, you could just play it.
Yeah. So, who knows? Maybe that one will see play. I don't think they've ever gotten a dual deck card actually go into decks, right?
I don't remember.
No one's ever brought one out. Beep! I'm gonna cut that one out. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyways, these usually these decks don't really have cards that go into standard that often, so it'd be interesting to see that card at least be into play. Because I mean, this Liliana that they just printed is pretty alright too.
That one's gonna see playing standard.
Yeah, it's probably gonna see you playing standard, and it's not that hard to alt in the first place. And if you're playing that guy, you can alt pretty easily.
I feel like
Is it the +1 and kill 2 creatures, 1 on your turn, 1 on the enemy turn?
yeah. I mean, I feel like it can be played in modern because you already have Liliana of the Veil, which also discards. And you already have Croxa, that sees a little bit of play. So maybe you could just do more of a discard centric.
Yeah.
Because you can actually get there. Because both of them are just good cards in general.
Yeah. Also, like, all the new Planeswalkers have pretty low... For, like, Planeswalkers have pretty, like, low to middle, like, CMC.
Oh yeah, these ones there's nothing like too
No, it's just
super difficult.
Yeah, just the Chandra one's, like, kinda high, but it's not even that high. It's like a mid-range deck kind of thing.
Plus she has a plus that kills creatures, so
Yeah.
that's pretty good. But yeah, so those are how you get Core 21. But seeing as we're already kind of talking about it, let's just talk about Core 21. Let's talk about what spoilers are out there, what cards we like. Do you guys want to go in a particular order, or do you want to bounce around, or what do you want to do?
We can kind of just, I guess we could just kind of bounce around. Cards that we're kind of excited for, cards we're looking at. Maybe some interesting ideas for some decks.
Okay. Well, I think we should probably, since we already talked about a few of them, let's just talk about the cycle of the Planeswalkers, right? So I'll take the first one. We got Basri Ket, a brand new Planeswalker. Hasn't appeared in any stories yet. It is a person from Amonkhet. So that's pretty cool. I guess I believe he might have gotten his spark after the whole events of Amonkhet and might be part of the rebuilding, which is pretty cool. But he's I believe a soldier focused one, which is pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. So it's 1 white for a 3 mana. 1 white for a 3 loyalty Planeswalker. He has a +1 that says put a 1/1 counter on up to 1 target creature. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Pretty cool, pretty standard, more aggressive, and it'll help build your board. You have a -2 that says whenever 1 or more non-token creatures attack this turn, create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. You know what? That's actually a pretty interesting minus. That could actually be a pretty big game, like really late, if you're doing like a white weenie or a wide strategy, some kind of aggro. Because this guy, instead of playing him on turn 3, you can play him really late and immediately minus for like a huge double up, especially with some other cards that we have that we're going to talk about a little bit later. It could be a pretty big game, and I think White Weenie might actually be a pretty serious threat coming up. And he also has an ultimate. Is -6. You get an emblem with, at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, then put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So that already kind of works with Basri Ket. Like you could be working on ultimating him, ultimate it, and then follow up with another one that you have in your hand, and then -2, and then boom. You go to combat. It's gonna be pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's a pretty good White Weenie card. The plus is just like a standard buff, but at least it's indestructible. So I mean, if you have some guy that you like, I don't want to lose this guy, but I still want to attack. It's pretty good.
Or you could even use it defensively. Make your creature just a little bit bigger so you can protect Basri and try and get to the ultimate.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it'll take some time, but the ultimate will win you the game.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Basri Angel?
He's aight.
He's aight. What? I think it's pretty good. I think that's a good one. But I mean, okay, here's one that you can't down on. Teferi, Master of Time. 2 blue, static ability. Who doesn't like static abilities, right? You may activate loyalty abilities of Teferi, Master of Time on any player's turn. Any time you could cast an instant. So basically, every turn, cycle, you get 2 activations of him. And I guess if you're playing this commander, you get a lot more, right? Which is pretty interesting. He has a +1 that says draw a card, then discard a card. Alright. He's got a -3 that says target creature you don't control phases out. It says treat it and anything attached to it as though they don't exist until its controller's next turn. Then it has a -10. Take 2 extra turns after this one. And it comes out at 3 loyalty. What do you guys think of Mr. Teferi, Master of Time?
It's pretty good. It can protect itself, its card advantage. And I mean, if you get it to alt, that's 2 extra turns. And if you don't win with that, I don't know what will get you to win.
What do you think, Mr. Angel?
Well, I will say this. It is, for me at least, it doesn't cause me post-traumatic stress, unlike the other previous Teferis.
Who knows? Maybe this one is worse.
Maybe it's going to trigger me.
Think of how fast this can ultimate. How fast this guy, your opponent plays this turn 4, has a way to protect it or something, and then in a few 2 or 3 turns they just take 2 turns, 2 extra turns.
Easily play it
standard wise, and constructed format wise, normal competitive formats. I think it's fine. You can handle it. Commander, I will gun for this thing immediately.
What do you do when they phase your creature, bro?
You know what's sad?
It's okay. That's why you swing up like your whole army.
Ooh.
You just gotta know that thing has to go.
You know what's sad? Mutate. You go to mutate your creature, it's not there anymore.
Well, then the thing that you're mutating on top would just enter the battlefield, and then the other one would just come back once it dephases. Right. Mutate works in the weirdest way. It's not like bestow or enchantments. It's specifically made so if I'm going to mutate my creature, and then by the time my thing goes to resolve, the creature I'm mutating onto is gone, I don't get any mutate triggers, but my creature enters the battlefield as itself. It's really strange, but I mean, it kind of makes it a little bit more balanced, I guess.
Weird.
But I think we should also take a second using Teferi to show the different kinds of alternate arts and stuff you can get, because I believe he has 4 different very slight variations of his art and the full art frame and stuff. So we can put that on the screen. You guys can see some of the many different ways you can pull Teferi, Master of Time in this set. What do you guys think about the sheer number of different kinds of styles in this set?
I don't know. I don't think it's crazy per se. I don't think it's oh my god, it's everybody's gonna be collecting all of these. I think everybody's just gonna choose one they like, and then that's the one they're kind of gonna go for, or they just won't care which one they
Imagine how hard it is for collectors these days, people who try to get full sets.
I mean, that's what I was gonna bring up, because imagine you need to get 10 Teferis now.
That's so bad. Because if you truly want one of every card in the set, it's what are you going to not get every art of Teferi, every full art, every alternate art, every extended border, every no border?
Every art, and then you have to get it foiled.
That must be obnoxious.
I mean, that's my problem with the set. That's why, because it just feels it just gives my mind, it's oh my god, it's how many, it's what cards am I missing, and it's how many, is this the right variation?
Man, also the variations of Teferi are so close to each other. It's colors off only. It is so weird. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a great card, and the art definitely looks great, and I like those styles, but it's just so insane how many new styles there are,
I'm going to be surprised if there's one, just because of the color variation, if it's worth $3 more than the rest. That would be funny.
That might even just depend on the hit rate for that. You know, like sometimes,
Oh my
even though they're not
God.
supposed to, sometimes things just are more rare. And that might end up that way, and you like, who knows, maybe the purple one, you can just almost never get it, and that one's like $40, and the other one's $30.
Imagine for the people with OCD and they have to make sure they get all the same Teferi.
That must be annoying, though, if you're pulling the set, and like maybe you got 3 normal copies, and you got like 1 purple one. It's like, oh no.
No, when you're playing competitive, I know it's like you just want them all the same art. So it's like if your opponent looks at your hand, like they'll know if you're playing all 4 different ones.
They can use that to track what's going on. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know. It just bothers me.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's
regardless,
cool. It's cool, but it's like it just gives me like a headache. It's like, why is there so many variants? I like them all, but it's like
I don't mind it.
keeping track of them is just another story.
Yeah, well, regardless, Teferi is a really great card, but without further ado, we got to keep it moving. We have Liliana, Waker of the Dead. We got 2 black, 4 loyalty. We have +1. Each player discards a card. Each opponent who can't loses 2 life. So something similar to Croxa, but not exactly. We have -3. Target creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard. Not creature cards, just cards. And you have -7. You get an emblem with, at the beginning of combat on your turn, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste. What are your guys' thoughts on Liliana?
Pretty nasty.
Looks like Dredge got a new toy.
That
Dredge
alt,
got a new
that
toy.
alt is not very nice.
Do you remember when that was a saying? Looks like Dredge got a new toy.
I don't recall.
I would always see that in the
The comic book store?
the comment sections of what at the spoilers. Just people just spamming that.
Anything that has to do with the graveyard.
Pretty
Dredge
much.
has
Anything.
I mean, it's like the last
with
with Ikoria, the mythic, the black.
Fiend Artisan?
Yeah, Fiend
That card's
Artisan.
great. I love that card so much. But I don't think it's actually
I'm
going
surprised.
into Dredge.
I mean, I'm surprised that that card's still holding as much.
Like the value?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a commander card. It's not saying like any
It's also
competitor
just a
play.
decent card.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It might need a specific home. Why are we talking about Ikoria card? So yeah, Liliana, Waker of the Dead.
Welcome to
This
the
card, I
podcast.
think, will probably see some play in Standard. Some sort of graveyard deck that might come out, and then you also have the ability to play it in Commander, and I think that'd be pretty cool. Definitely a lot easier in Commander to make its abilities really powerful. Do you guys have anything else to say about Liliana?
You don't even have to like be playing it in a certain deck. Just, I mean,
Yeah,
the alt
this
itself-
isn't like a graveyard centric deck. You just have to have some way to get cards in your graveyard for the minus. That could just be spells.
You could just be playing cards.
That could just
and
be
they
Fable
naturally
Passage.
die.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, the minus is just a good mid-range card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that being said, we gotta keep it rolling so we can go over it, because we've had some issues in the past on the spoiler episodes going like way too long. So I'm trying to let's get through them. We have Chandra, Heart of Fire. We have 3 red. So the most expensive of these planeswalkers so far, and we have 5 mana for a 5 loyalty. Chandra is +1. Discard your hand, then exile the top 3 cards of your library. Until end of turn, you may play cards exiled this way. So a little bit of a impulse draw. You're all out of cards. You can play Chandra and get some cards. Pretty cool. You have another +1 that says Chandra, Heart of Fire deals 2 damage to any target. It can protect itself, but it doesn't have to go down, which is pretty cool. And you have -9. It says search your graveyard and library for any number of red instant and or sorcery cards. Exile them, then shuffle your library. You may cast them this turn. Add 6 red.
It's pretty.
So pretty much
nice.
that ultimate is just like, yeah, you
Pretty
win.
nice.
Unless they're at like 50 health
Play
or something.
all the cards.
I just want to play Storm
Yeah. Standard Storm, bro.
Standard Storm with Chandra, Heart of Fire.
now. Yeah. Let's do it.
Dang.
I mean, how about this? You go right ahead, and then I'm gonna make something with Teferi, Master of Time.
You do that, and then everyone else would just be playing blue-green, just going faster than us.
Yeah, we're both being dumb, and somebody's just like, Night Pack Ambusher, bro.
It's like, I play Teferi. It's like, okay, cool. I play Ugin.
Yeah.
Whoa, we haven't gone to that yet. You can't just say.
I've already mentioned it already this podcast.
Oh, anyway, yeah. So, in order to continue on the track, we have Garrick Unleashed. We have 2 green for 4 loyalty. Garrick. Garrick's back, guys. He's back as a green planeswalker. He's no longer cursy bursy. He's chilling. He's living his life. I don't know what happened, but he's good now, so that's cool.
He fell in a cauldron. That's literally how.
He found a cauldron. The curse went away.
Just eat some food, bro.
Literally, how the story goes from the actual canon is he fell into the cauldron, and the curse was lifted.
He like melted off of him.
I guess. I don't know.
He fell into a cauldron.
It was like in Throne of Eldraine.
That's dumb.
Yeah, that's what.
All these years of him being cursed and being a maniac, and he just falls into some boiling water, and the curse goes away.
I thought he would be much bigger to the story too.
For Eldraine, maybe
for
they just...
like in general, like Garrick has the curse, and he's just gonna go around and hunt planeswalkers. I thought he was gonna be doing that, but like nah.
I mean, supposedly he did go around and kill a bunch of planeswalkers, but they were unnamed.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
planeswalkers that we don't know.
It would have been cooler if he at least took out one that we knew about. It's like that was a story.
Yeah, like he could have been a big bad villain. It seems like they set it up, but they're like, never mind.
What was he doing during war? Oh, he was in Eldraine, right?
I don't think Eldraine happened at the same time as war. He was probably somewhere else killing random planeswalkers. It's the same thing that they did in war too, I think, right? I think most of the casualties were quote unquote unnamed planeswalkers.
Yeah,
I mean, the question is, why would you make new planeswalkers when you're gonna kill them off? I mean, I understand
make the story be more relevant.
Yeah.
The casualties are always people you don't even know. They essentially just didn't even exist.
I mean, we know one of them, which was Dak Faden.
Oh yeah, he died. I hated that. He wasn't even like in it. He just died.
It's like not even one card. I was hoping he'd get one card because he only has like one card ever printed. That was from Original Conspiracy.
Yeah. And then Domri died too, but he kind of deserved it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, but anyway, Garrick Unleashed. Yeah, so it's 4 mana, 4 loyalty. His +1 is up to 1 target creature gets +++ and gains trample time to turn. So just like Basri, pretty aggressive.
Pretty good pump.
Yeah, and we got -2, create a 3/3 green beast creature token. Then, if an opponent controls more creatures than you, put a loyalty counter on Garrick Unleashed, which is kind of interesting.
Just a -1 at that point.
I guess. And you have a -7. It says you get an emblem with at the beginning of your end step. You may search your library for a creature card, put it in the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So
it's a really good ult.
Yeah, and it's pretty similar to Liliana's ult, actually.
It's the reverse. Instead of graveyard, you go deck.
Yeah, and then you get a creature. It doesn't get haste, though.
You play green, black, and you just don't care.
You play both.
You just play both of them, and that way you have one or the other.
Garrett gets him out, and Liliana brings him back.
Exactly. And you can just discard your creature cards and bring them back later.
This guy's pretty smart. Give this guy the smart crown.
The smart crown?
The smart crown.
I take Oko's crown.
Okay.
I am smart crown.
Bruh. Anyway, going on from there, we've got the other mythics in this set. If you ask me, I was gonna say, if you ask me at this for once in a long time, all of the like monocolored mythics hits.
There is no Ugin's Nexus.
There's something. Anyway, all of these monocolored mythics are amazing, including some super key reprints. So I think we should just roll through these as well before hopping around. So we have the new card, Mangara the Diplomat. 3 and a white for a 2/4 with lifelink, legendary human cleric. When an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you and or planeswalkers you control, draw a card. There you go, everybody. There's the white card draw on this card. And it says whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, draw a card. So basically, this is a very commander card. It's going to just it's kind of like Ristic Study. It's like you're going to draw some cards off of it. People are going to be aware of it, but not be bothered enough to stop you. So it's like a 4 mana 2/4 with lifelink that's going to draw you some cards. What do you guys think about White's answer of card draw?
He's called a diplomat for a reason. Just don't touch me, bro. Don't touch me. Don't touch
It's
me.
almost like
What?
Don't touch me, bro.
It's almost like a pillow fort card because it like it decentivizes people from attacking you.
It's like it's not only like, oh, I'm gonna draw a card, like not like I'm gonna draw a card when you play spells. I'm gonna draw a card when you attack me, and I'm gonna gain back the life because I'm gonna block and gain life with them.
I mean, it's gonna be funny though, because it's like it just so if the player that's playing big creatures is on the table, then they'll probably just gun for you because all they have to really do is swing with like one big
I will
thing.
attack you with my 16/6.
It also stops people from playing more than one spell, but they're probably not going to stop them. They're just going to let you draw cards.
I mean, if anything, probably someone's just gonna kill it immediately just because they don't want you to draw cards.
That's true.
That's the same thing with like with like anything that just draws you cards or gives you value. It's like they will just gun for it right away.
It's a target, and that's all it has to be.
Yeah.
Bro,
I mean,
that target's my card draw.
Yeah, at the very least, it'll take some smoke off of your other cards. You know? Then you can follow up with some actual big threat. Who knows?
We'll see.
Yeah, but going on from that, we got the blue mythic. Discontinuity. This card is very strange. A unique effect that hasn't been printed too many times before. 3 blue. 6 mana instant. As long as it's your turn, the spell costs 2 blue, less to cast. So it's 6 mana on their turn, 2 mana on your turn. And the only text is, and the turn.
Correct.
So on your turn, you could use it to get out of having to have end of turn effects, like at the beginning of your end step effects, not end of turn effects. So at the beginning of your end step effects, you could skip them, such as I think Chance for Glory is the one thing I think that matters in this format. I can't think of anything else. And the other thing is you could play this for 6 mana as like a time walk essentially.
Yeah, just like untap. Skip the rest.
Yeah, beginning of your upkeep, no more turn for you. Sorry, bro. Like, okay. So, I guess having both modes is kind of cool. But yeah, that's really it.
It's nice to have, I guess.
I know in Commander that there's some decks that run stuff like that, but I've just mainly seen it in red. Like,
and we're back after a quick little cut due to some background noise. Yeah, we were just talking about Discontinuity. It's a pretty cool card, but I think without further ado, we want to keep it rolling. We have Grim Tutor, reprint of the Century, kind of, not really. This card was what, like $200, $300? $300 before they decided to reprint it, but I mean, I guess it's about time for a reprint. So Grim Tutor, if you guys didn't know, it is 1 black sorcery. Search your library for a card, put it in your hand, shuffle your library, lose 3 life. So yeah,
The Tutor.
Demonic Tutor Light.
I will say, if anyone was around for when Masters 25 came out, I would say it's almost the same scenario, because if you remember, Imperial Recruiter was almost like $300.
And it wasn't like nothing now.
It's almost like $10 or $20.
Yeah.
The main reason why it's such a high price point is just because of the lack of supply there is, because there's only one printing of it.
Which is a good thing. Like, obviously, there's the reserve of cards. Those cards will be protected, and cards like this that were really expensive, like, come on, bring it down. Let's get these prices low, gamers. Do you guys think this will see any standard play? Or is this just a Commander reprint?
If it'll see
It's
play,
a tutor,
bro. It's a tutor.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always been tutors.
Don't lie to yourself.
Idyllic Tutor's in standard right now.
Yeah,
it's been in tutor.
It only searches for like enchantments.
Yeah, there's a good enchantment.
That's trash, bro.
There's good
you know
enchantments,
it's
bro.
trash. That doesn't mean anything, bro.
Why
Speaking of enchantments, though, the next one...
That's like the first time we've ever segued, and it made sense. Anyway, Fiery Emancipation. We have 3 red, 6 mana for an enchantment. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage to that permanent or player instead. That's right, everybody. Triple trouble, y'all. They're doing triple stuff now. There's a triple damage.
That's like a big cry if you mix that with another card that's released in the same set, bro.
I don't even know which one you're referring to.
The one that's directly underneath it.
Boo in my butt. I don't even remember what you're talking about. Okay. Oh yeah. So we will.
We'll get to that.
We'll look at that in a little bit.
The trippy damage that hurts.
Trippy damage, bro.
Trippy damage.
I don't think you think this probably won't see any standard.
This isn't a standard card.
This is a commander card.
Gosh darn, it's a commander card.
What is the card? What is the card? The 2 mana one from Dragons of Tarkir? Impact Tremors. Every time a creature enters, you deal 1 or something. I'm sure there's got to be some way. You already have Impact Tremors out. You have this out, and then.
Yeah, I think there are better ways.
Warstorm Surge. So like the creature enters, it deals damage equal to its power 3 times.
Yeah,
That's pretty good. I like that
that's
one.
pretty hurtful.
This is a crazy card, once in a lifetime effect, but honestly, I'm not nearly as excited about this as I am for the very next card that we're going to talk about.
Dang.
This card is a standard card for sure. It is also probably in other formats card, I assume. Definitely a commander card. You have Elder Gargoth. 3 green for a 6/6 Vigilance Reach Trample. You guys remember Questing Beasts?
Yeah, dog.
Remember word soup on a green mythic? Here we go again, everybody. Whenever Elder Gargoth attacks or blocks, anytime this participates in combat, you get to choose one. You get to create a 3/3 green beast. You're like, wow, that's a really great card. 5 mana 6/6 Vigilance Reach Trample attacks or blocks makes a 3/3 beast. What the hell? You gain 3 life. Okay, now you have a choice. Like maybe I'm behind on life. Get some life back. All right. Maybe I don't need a 3/3 beast. Who knows? Or draw a card.
Green draw.
Green draw again, everybody. This is a 5 mana 6/6 Vigilance Reach Trample. Whenever it attacks or blocks, draw a card or make a 3/3.
Word soup. Word soup.
Words.
Let's get them cards, boys.
And it's like insane. Like whoever made this, I love you. It's this is one of the many amazing cards they have in this set. Like I said, this is a really crazy, super high power core set, and I think it'll be something that people will be seeking after for a long time.
Yeah,
And this is a new card, not to mention the good reprints that they got. Angel, how many copies of Elder Gargoth are you gonna buy, bro?
0.
0, bro?
One of those people that are like green's the worst color, bro.
What are you talking about? We already got Questing Beasts.
He's a
Well, there's not enough.
Questing
good
Beast is
cards,
trash compared to this, bro. This thing
Bro,
draws
thing-
cards,
Bro,
bro.
that thing don't even have haste.
Who cares? Haste
Who
sucks,
cares?
bro. Haste like the worst.
You don't even
ability,
have
bro.
to attack to get the effect. You just have to block.
Yeah,
And
bro.
It has reach.
This effect has
Bro,
haste,
I
bro.
ain't gonna have the chance to block. I'm gonna kill it the moment it comes into play.
Yeah,
Bruh.
someone kills Questing Beast. Someone comes into play, bro.
Yeah, but at least it'll try and attack at least.
Yeah, but when this one gets a chance to attack, you draw a card.
Yeah, dog. And what if you bring it back with Liliana? Then it does get haste, bro.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Exactly,
Exactly, bro. Anyway, Elder Gargoth, great card. Elder Gargoth.
On to the next
Elder
one.
Gargoth would stomp a Questing Beast.
On our
bro.
next boy, we have Baneslayer Angel.
Oh yeah, we got the
3
reprint.
mana, 2 white. You get an angel with flying, first strike, lifelink, protection from demons and from dragons, and it's a 5/5, so you get the dab on them.
So it's
this is
the
a reprint.
Yeah, the reprint no one saw coming.
Yeah, nobody asked for this, but you know what? It's all right because it's just a decent card.
This is not something that people were like, oh my god, I need my Baneslayer for Commander. This is something that's like, oh,
That's
this
cool,
is
I
something that
guess.
should be in the format because it's powerful and it's good, right?
It's like it's not overpowered. It's just good.
It's gonna replace Lyra. Ever since Lyra's been gone, boom, Baneslayer Angel.
You know,
Like
5
Dex
mana,
can compete
5/5.
now.
Who would have known 5 mana, 5/5 flying, first strike, lifelink, protection from dragons and demons is pretty.
It's
alright.
pretty good. That's good too because of all the freaking dragons.
It's just
in the
kind of
set.
a plus, you know. It's just like, all right, I do this stuff. Plus, I also got this. Also, I never thought they would bring back fully bring back protection, but I guess they are slowly bringing it back.
They brought it back in 2020.
Yeah, but it was like on a couple cards.
This is like a hate cycle.
Yeah, it was like a hate cycle, and that was it. But like this is just blatant.
Dude, there's
Demons, dragons, bro.
there's
Yeah.
like 15 or 20 cards that have protection on them.
In total,
Yeah,
in Magic.
in 20.
Oh, in M20.
Yeah, or of course at 20.
I don't recall.
I don't remember. They're
A lot
probably
of them,
garbage.
a lot of them are forgettable, honestly. Aether Gust
Yeah.
is technically a color hater, but
That
no.
doesn't have protection for anything.
No.
But anyways,
Veil of Summer.
on to our next one.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
funny. Oh, you want me to talk about this one?
Yeah, dog.
So this one is one that, again, who would have thought that they'd be making named cards like this? They got Baron, Tolarian Archmage. Got 1 blue for a 2/2 human wizard. When it enters the battlefield, return up to 1 other target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand. Your planeswalker, you just minused it. You want to reset it? Boom, Baron, put it back. Your creature is has an ETB effect. Want to play it? Cool, awesome. Your opponent has a creature. You want to out tempo them? Baron, boom, put it back in their hand. Then you have at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent was put into your hand from the battlefield this turn, draw a card. So you can reuse your ETB effects and draw cards, and you could keep drawing cards off of it for other reasons later.
Wow, I can replay my. What was it called again?
This is a Brago deck card.
I think the card you're thinking of is
Agent.
Aether Gust.
No Agent of Treachery.
Oh, except for you can't, bro.
Anyways, on to the
Sorry,
next one.
bro.
We have a Massacre Worm.
Oh, this guy's going
3
at
mana,
10
and
miles
3
an hour,
black.
bro.
We have the Massacre Worm. When it enters the battlefield, creatures your opponent controls get -2/-2. That's pretty strong. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, that player loses 2 life.
And it's a 6/5.
This is a 6/5 for 6.
Yeah, this is another key reprint, which is pretty cool, and another like really like top end monocolored creature, which will probably define some of these decks like Baneslayer Angel and like the next card coming up.
Cheer the Peaks! 3 mana and 2 red. You get a dragon with flying, and spells your opponent's cast. The target Terror of the Peaks cost an additional 3 life to cast.
Which is pretty brutal.
An interesting effect. Yeah, it's pretty not nice. But on top of that, he's even worse. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to the creature's power to any target. This guy is literally a terror on the Peaks, bro. He's a 5/4 for 5 with abilities like this. I mean, what else are they?
5/4 for 5 flying is a pretty good rate. Having that ability to do that damage to them, even if they have an answer immediately, is pretty good. It lets you get that a little tiny bit of incremental damage, and then the final ability is just insane.
Yeah,
so basically, like, if this sticks around, the game is pretty much over. Any target, you could shoot down their planeswalkers, their blockers, or just hit them for that last bit of damage. Like, this is a 5 mana creature, right? So this is a 5 damage creature, and then you have some other creatures, and then you only need 1 creature. This one, something else that does 5 damage, and then you play another 5 power creature the next turn. That's 15 in 1 turn right after.
And
this,
then
right?
you play this with Fiery Emancipation, and your opponent cries.
Bruh.
Your opponent cries because if he targets the dragon, he takes 9.
Unfortunately, that's not how that works.
Why not, bro?
This one's life loss,
Oh,
which is very strange on a red card. But
it is.
But the
second
triple is the
ability.
second ability. Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, you just play the Terror, and then you play the Enchantment, and then you just swing in for 15.
This is true.
Or you just play 2 terrors.
2 terrors.
You just play 2 terrors.
2
That's
terrors
pretty
and
terrorizing.
Yeah. So I mean, these things stack. You just get to add more.
Definitely a
procs
weird
to the
deck I
damage.
want to make in standard. Where I
I
just
don't think that's
play
even weird. Just green, red creatures.
I can play green, red, black for the Liliana
okay.
to bring things from the graveyard.
You have a big fixation on Liliana.
And I'll play that guy that puts counters on Liliana. It's fine, bro.
So you're playing a green, red, black deck. You're probably going to ramp into these creatures.
Exactly.
So in order to ramp, you probably want to use the next card.
Oh, we got Azusa, Lost but Seeking.
That's a
Look
reprint.
at this lady. Two and a green. For a legendary creature, Human Monk, you may play 2 additional lands on each of your turns. That's it. It's a 1/2 for 3. Most of you are like, oh, that's alright. No, this is good.
This is a major Commander reprint. People have been wanting this for a long time. I mean, it was reprinted, but it still was expensive.
It doesn't matter because now it's here and everybody's going to slurp it up.
I hope nobody's slurping these. There's just somebody in one of the game stores.
Give me all this value.
Just eating the cards.
Give me the
Do you think
value.
someone just puts water and magic cards in a blender and just makes a shake out of them?
Honestly, though? No, I don't think that.
Time to look on YouTube.
Please, if
Please don't
you're
know.
somebody who's did that or thinking of doing that, please seek help.
Please seek help,
that's
and
not healthier.
after that, please send the video to our email.
Record the video first. It didn't seek help.
Exactly.
No, but anyway, we have the cycle of, I guess, kind of basic rares. I think
Whoa,
2 sets
bro!
of them,
None
3
of
sets
of these rares are
4 sets of
basic.
them,
Whoa,
5
whoa,
sets
where
of
are you
them,
going
6
with
sets
these
of them.
basic rares? These aren't basic. Look
Listen,
at this
bro.
next guy, Basri's Lieutenant, 3 and a white. For a human knight with vigilance and protection from multicolored. Alright, that's
pretty
okay.
interesting.
When Basri's Lieutenant enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. So that's just a nice plus.
It could just be a 4/5.
Yeah, it could just be a 4/5 because it's already 3/4. And whenever Basri's Lieutenant or another creature you control dies, if it had a 1/1 counter on it, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance.
Well, that would go really well with Basri itself, because Basri puts
Yeah, because
counters.
he puts 1/1 counters and he makes tons of creatures. You can turn those 1/1s into 2/2s. Why not? I mean,
That's
they'd
pretty
already
big,
be
bro.
2/2s if they had a 1/1 counter on them, but it's pretty nice. It also has just like some insurance on it. You lose your 4/5, you get a 2/2. Who cares? I mean,
Yep.
2 creatures for the price of 1. It's alright. It's pretty good. It's got protection.
This card is really good, and I think the white deck will actually have a lot of good pieces and make it
Yeah, I
pretty
think the
powerful.
white deck has a lot of great power plays. I mean, you got this Angel, the Basris, and there's also more stuff down here that we have to get to.
But actually,
Well,
we'll probably move on to the
On to
other
the next
colors.
one, we have Ghostly Pilfer.
I really like this card.
1 and a blue for a Spirit Rogue. Whenever Ghostly Pilfer becomes untapped, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. That's just pretty good. Whenever an opponent casts a spell from anywhere other than their hand, draw a card.
So you got
That's
all of the different mechanic. Sorry. Oh, so it's no longer a companion. I think this was made for companion, but it doesn't work that way anymore. Huh, that's kind of interesting. Is there any decks that are actually gonna have that be used anymore? Who's playing stuff from outside
you can
their
play
hand?
You can. What do you mean?
Graveyard decks?
The commanders
it
that
from
we
hand?
just went through
Just-
earlier,
just-
brother.
Just unleash, I guess.
Underworld
Sorry,
Reach?
not unleash. Just escape. So if you escape, it works.
Escaping
Escape.
works.
I'm thinking of standard.
Escape.
You know, when you play stuff out of your graveyard, stuff like that. Well,
That's what I'm saying. Escape. But is there anything else? Because
no, I
companion's
mean,
gone.
not just that. Liliana's ult does that, right?
It
She
searches,
puts-
right? It doesn't cast.
Liliana's puts it onto the battlefield. Oh,
Yeah.
this
I'm
is
saying
a
this is a
cast trigger.
So because it was hosing companions and it was
No,
going
it's
to
not.
do escape, but now it just does
Now
escape.
it's just a commander card.
But no one really plays escape though. So
Whatever.
I guess it does. I mean, this is definitely.
We'll see you later.
This is a
But-
good commander card.
On top of that, you just discard a card and it becomes blockable for the turn.
Yeah. So you discard a land, get this in, and then when it untaps
It's
later,
just a 2
replace
mana
it.
2/1 beater that draws you a card every turn. And if you don't like the card you draw, just discard it, get a new one. But on to our next one, Demonic Embrace. 1 and 2 black for an enchantment aura that is enchant creature. Enchanted creature gains +3/+1, has flying, and it's a demon in addition to its other types, and you cry.
What?
You can cast Demonic Embrace from your graveyard by paying 3 life and discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs.
So it's a pretty
It's whatever.
It's not a great aura, but the fact that you could get it back, I don't know, it might be kind of swingy.
It
Definitely
makes your
not a
creature
good.
flying at least.
It's not like a really great card for any kind of
No.
constructed, but I think
Not
in
at all.
limited it'd be pretty bomby.
Yeah, in limited, it's definitely nice to have just a free kind of plus to your creature. But yeah, it's
The next card is actually pretty fun.
is pretty interesting. We have the Brash Taunter. He's 4 and 1 red for a goblin that's indestructible. Now that just sounds dumb already. Whenever Brash Taunter is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target opponent.
So it's a stuffy doll.
Yeah, dog.
It's
it
a new
hurts.
stuffy doll, bro.
Yeah, dog. And then he has 2 and a red tap. He fights another target creature.
So you can keep in mind you can do that on their end step. So you
You know.
wait. If they try to attack, you block, shoot their damage back at them, and then at their turn you just add more damage. So this thing actually could kill your opponent really fast.
And
if
it
they don't
works with
find
the
a way.
3-time enchantment.
For which one? Oh, for the triple enchantment.
Yeah.
That sounds like the worst, jankiest standard deck of all
Look
time.
here.
Bring Breast
We're
Hunter
just
into
going-
Fiery Emancipation. You
Exactly.
cannot attack.
What if they have no creatures though? What if you're playing it against control?
You can attack your own creatures. It just says fight target creature. Fight another creature.
Oh, it says whenever it deals dealt
You don't
damage.
even have to attack their creature.
Yeah, just dealt damage. It deals that much
You
damage.
can
to
play
target
some
opponent.
like green-red ramp, and you just make big creatures and fight your own creatures. You don't even have to rely on them.
Think about it.
I'm big smart right now.
Jund. This with Pelupernos.
Oh,
12/12?
that's spice, bro.
Instead of attacking your opponent.
you attack
Fight.
this guy,
Yeah, man.
deal a ton of damage to your opponent, and your opponent's like, "Why did you bring this jank to the standard?" But yeah, anyways, that's a pretty good card. On to our next card, Feline Sovereign. It's 2 and a green. It's a cat. Other cats you control get +1/+1 and have protection from dogs.
Who hasn't been asking for a cat lord? Bro?
Yeah, dog. But whenever one or more cats you control deal combat damage to a player, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment that player controls. It's a 3 mana 2/3 that destroys enchantments and artifacts just for hitting.
It's a lord that gives protection from a very minor faction, but it turns all your
Dude,
cats into Trigon
This
Punishers.
turns off an entire commander, the doggo.
Which
The 1-mana dog, though.
is anyone really playing Isamaru though?
Yeah, dog.
I mean, people
yeah.
might play some of the new cards as commanders.
Some of the new dog, the dog we'll get to later is pretty interesting,
Yeah.
bro.
Hey Angel, do you want to take the next few?
Yeah, bro. Do you want to
players,
talk
bro?
at all during this recording, bro?
Whoa, that's some smoke.
Nah, you guys got this.
I don't think Angel could take that kind of heat, bro.
Bro,
I think-
Alright, I'll
he's
do
too
this
hot,
one.
bro.
I'll do this one. The one that everyone's wanted. Containment Priest, a 1 and a white, creature, human cleric, flash. If a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead.
Yeah.
And it's a 2/2.
2-mana.
And yet again, reprinted the Sentry, everybody. Now, this was reprinted in Ultimate Masters, but it is cool just to see it get more out into the world. To
It's
see
in standard now.
Yeah, it sees play in a lot of formats, like
Yeah.
Commander and other internal formats, because that ability houses a lot of stuff for a lot of reasons. So, could be pretty cool. I'm not sure. I guess this is really good against Yorion. If Yorion,
Yorion?
This turns off a lot of
I think
things.
it's Yorion.
Looky here. Nobody said we had to have perfect English.
Well, technically these words aren't real, so they have no pronunciation. Anyway,
Technically, this isn't real. This
speaking
is all
of fake,
simulation.
speaking of fake words, Pursued Whale, 5 blue for an 8/8. You have a creature whale. It says when Pursued Whale enters the battlefield, each opponent creates a 1/1 red pirate creature token with this creature can't block, and creatures you control attack each combat if able. And then it has spells your opponents cast that target Pursued Whale cost 3 more to cast. So,
It's a dumpster rare.
this is a pretty janky rare. I have to admit.
It's a dumpster rare, bro.
Yeah, it's a big 8/8 whale with the weird protection ability. I guess it does make your opponents forces them to attack, but
It's kind of whatever.
man, why are you playing this? I mean, yeah, you pull it and sealed, you put it in the mid deck.
Oh yeah,
For
but
sure.
that's because it's an 8/8, not
Yeah.
because of the other effects.
Yeah, this is not too much. I mean, it's got the Moby Dick reference in it, which is kind of strange. It's kind of out of nowhere, but yeah.
Whatever, Doug.
Whatever,
Now to
Doug.
our next one.
Yeah, this is a real card.
Who wants to talk about?
Hooded Blight Fan, 2 in the black, creature snake. With Death Touch, whenever a creature you control with Death Touch attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals damage to a planeswalker, destroy that planeswalker, and it is a 1/4.
So this kind of gives Death Touch to
Actual name.
planeswalkers. Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the War of the Spark Vraska, if you remember that one.
You make 1/1s with Death Touch. This is whenever a creature with Death Touch hits, you get a counter on your creature.
No, so if it hits a planeswalker, it just kills a planeswalker if that Vraska planeswalker is in play.
I thought that one put counters on. I don't remember.
No, that's
Actually, we could just look at it.
yeah.
It
It does a couple things. I mean, that's why it's like it just feels like a late support for it, which is actually really nice.
I mean, it just makes because like usually you're like, okay, a 1/1 with that touch is hitting. the
Oh,
planeswalker
it does
or
both
whatever.
those things. The static effect does what I said it does, and the minus creates a token that does what you said it does.
Wow.
Bruh.
Bruh.
And the reason that we didn't know was because this card kind of sucks. No one's going to remember it.
Just you wait, Death Touch Tribal Miles.
It might be, except for I can't even think of any other Death Touch creatures in this format. Can you think of any?
Absolutely.
There was Questing Beast.
Questing Beast is Death Touch.
Exactly. See.
They're past
That's
that
like
one.
one.
Yeah, that means as long as
Got like 3 cards for your tribal deck.
as long as you play the Questing Beast and you hit your opponent and it deals the damage to the planeswalkers immediately die, don't they?
Didn't they already die to Questing Beast ability?
Why? Who knows? Maybe they somehow, for some ungodly
Here,
reason,
now
they
that
have like
nobody
8
can speak
loyalty,
English.
They have 8 loyalty.
like Ugin.
Jeez, bro.
Anyways,
How about you just play removal spells, bro?
What is
What is
yeah,
with this
trying to get
Death
it
Touch
past
stuff?
this jank card.
Oh, yeah. Angel, you want to tackle the card with the greatest name?
Chandra's Incinerator. 5 and a red. Creature Elemental. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total amount of non-combat damage dealt to your opponents this turn, and it has Trample. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, Chandra's Incinerator deals damage to target creature or planeswalker that player controls. And it is a 6/6 mean machine.
It's a 6/6.
Dude, this works with the dragon.
machine.
Mean.
That works with the
machine.
dragon, though.
What?
Everything
Well, it works with a
dragon.
lot of stuff, right?
Works
Yeah.
with burn.
It's like you cast a few burn spells and then you gotta just play this, I guess.
Yeah.
I think the fastest you can get it out was like turn 2.
That's insane.
I think it's just interesting that with the dragon, you're like, okay, I'm gonna deal 6 from this entering, and then it's gonna deal 6 to you now.
Bruh.
Yikes.
That's like take 12 for no reason.
I mean, the question is, how much are you gonna actually pay for this?
Well, this does combat damage. This deals damage to a creature or planeswalker that player controls.
Yeah.
So this enters, and the dragon will deal 6 to the opponent, and this will deal 6 to their creature.
This creature, and then I forget. Does the leftover damage deal it to their opponent or no?
No?
Is that not how that works?
Nah,
Dude, I'm playing too many different games.
bro. But yeah, this one's pretty fun. It feels kind of like a jank rare, but it'll probably see some play, I guess.
I mean, if you
Is it blowing up the moon or something? What is that in the
No,
background?
I think it's just a moon in the background.
That's broken?
Yeah,
Are you sure Chandra's incinerator didn't incinerate the moon, bro?
because he's not that tall.
He might be. The
Not
perspective. This is flat, bro. The perspective might just be off. The moon might just be that small. That might just be a big cookie right in front of it. Think about it.
Anyways,
I'm gonna
on
challenge your
to
perspective.
Garrick's Harbinger as 1 and 2 green for a creature beast. Hexproof from black, so that's
Interesting.
that's interesting.
The best removal. You can't touch it.
Yeah, the best removal can't touch it, but whenever Garrick's Harbinger deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, look at that many cards from the top of your library. From the top of your library, you may reveal a creature card or Garruk planeswalker card from among them and put it into your hand. Sorry. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So
This
I
is
mean,
insane.
it's just creature draw,
This is insane.
but also can get you a planeswalker.
3 mana 4/3 with a pretty decent protection ability that draws you cards. Like this doesn't. You don't need to be playing Garrick of any kind. This goes
Yeah,
into
you
that
just-
green-red deck that we were talking about. Maybe even that Jund deck we were talking about.
Yeah.
You've got all kinds of ramp. You've got really aggressive creatures. I think that'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
And you know, it actually works really well with another card. We'll go a little bit out of order here, but Heroic Intervention being reprinted.
Spice.
One of the many great reprints, but that's 1 and a green for permanents you control. Gain hexproof and indestructible to end of turn.
Very
So you know,
spicy.
all these great green creatures and stuff, you remove their ability to board wipe you. You can't target the stuff with black removal spells, which are the best removal spells. It seems like this would be a contender for one of the better decks, I think. And we're back after another quick little cut. So yeah, we just talked about Heroic Intervention and some different decks that can come.
Yeah.
And I think if we want to move back onto kind of the order, another reprint. One of so many reprints on reprints. Glorious Anthem coming back for the white weenie deck. We have the 1 white for an enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Pretty simple.
That's pretty simple.
Nice,
Yeah.
but can you see the truth?
Jeez, man, that's the most aggressive segue that you've ever done.
Yeah.
That was just that you didn't even like segue. You just said it. But anyway, yeah. See the truth. You got 1 and a blue for sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. If the spell was cast from anywhere other than your hand, put each of those cards in your hand instead. So, an okay, whatever, decent sorcery, you know, anticipate. Pretty bad anticipate. But if you find some way to cast this from somewhere other than your hand, it's like an Ancestral Recall, almost.
You just play this with Underworld Breach in Standard.
So you have this, you find a way to, you play this once and you get it in your graveyard and then Underworld Breach it out, draw some cards.
Yeah.
There's got to be some other ways as well, right?
I mean, it depends, because you could probably make a deck so it's like it's just running off.
Is there a way for you to cast it from your graveyard besides that?
Besides that...
Chandra, the new one that just got, the one that's gonna be printed.
Smart
in this
guy,
one.
bro. Look at this guy, smart guy, bro. What,
No,
what?
but, it puts, but Chandra puts all those cards in exile.
Yeah, but this
Does,
is anywhere but.
yeah, that's true.
yeah.
I thought there was like one other thing that
Well,
you can use.
We can talk about it later.
No,
That's true.
Yeah.
If we think about it, we'll talk about it. But the next card is another named character that they've given a card, and I think he already had a card before, but it's wildly different from this. This is Kavrik, the Spiteful. 2 black for legendary creature, human warlock. Other creatures get -1/-1. It's a 3/2. Very, very I guess
This is the opposite of the
sideboardy.
white weenie.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you're against white weenie, this might be pretty good. You know, reduce like negate their glorious anthem. I guess maybe if they only have 1/1s, it'd be pretty swingy, but it's also hurting your creatures. So I don't really know. Like, is this card even that good? I don't.
I mean, if you're running bigger creatures than them, when they're just running tokens, then more than likely you're running this.
I guess I just have a hard time like
It's kind of
imagining this being played at all.
It's
I don't
kind
know.
of whatever.
I know that there's commander archetypes like this,
Just -1.
or there's like one commander for it where it's like the whole point of the deck is you give your opponent tokens, but they all die, and then you get benefits off.
You
of
get
it.
whatever the positive part of the card was.
Yeah.
It's like
Huh.
the hunted stuff or whatever.
Oh wait, no, you know the Clackbridge, Clackbridge.
Oh,
control?
that's
Right?
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, because you give them the 0/1 goats.
And then now they have no goats, and you get a 5-mana 8/8 with haste.
Well, technically it's gonna drop to a 5.
It's 7/7, right?
Who cares? That's
Yeah.
I
still
think it's like
a
an 8. I
big
think it's
boy.
huge. The Clackbridge
That's still
Troll.
a boy. That's
Still a boy. All right,
That's
anyway.
boy.
Anyway,
Anyways.
the next one is going to be one that is going to jump. It's already making a bunch of modern cards really expensive. It is a new Goblin. The Goblins are back, everybody. Conspicuous Snoop. You have red for a 2/2 Goblin Rogue. Play with the top card of your library revealed. Something you probably never imagined you'd see on a Goblin card. You may cast Goblin spells from the top of your library. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, yeah, as long as the top of the card of your library is a Goblin card, Conspicuous Snoop has all activated abilities of that card. I'm not sure that's the most relevant ability in the world, but it could happen. You know, you got Warren Instigator or something like that.
Imagine there's a Krenko on the top.
There you go.
Oof.
Or you just cast the Cranko. This is a good card. This is a future
and
sight.
then you play the Krenko.
Yeah. This is a future sight for goblins. This
That's
is
pretty
this is,
alright.
and it's already on an aggressively costed goblin, which is pretty good. I'm not sure goblins actually has anything going on in standard right now, but I assume if they're putting it here,
it's still a good card.
the future sets might have.
There's
some.
always goblins in like everything.
There's so many goblins in Zendikar for sure. Right? I don't know what that was.
Anyways,
Yeah, so there's another set of rares. There's a few more rares to go through. Well, actually, a lot more rares to go
there's
through.
a lot more rares,
Yeah.
but who cares about all of
Yeah.
them? Let's just go.
There's a lot of rares, and then we'll talk about a few of the commons and uncommons we think are cool, and then we'll hop into the non-monocolored stuff a little bit later.
Yeah, but this one's pretty good. Idol of Endurance right here. It's 2 mana and a white. When it enters the battlefield, exile all creature cards with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard until Idol of Endurance leaves the battlefield. And it has 1 and a white. Tap. Until the end of turn, you may cast a creature spell from among those cards exiled this way with Idol of Endurance without paying its mana cost. So it's 2 mana, just play one of the cards that you exiled.
Yeah.
And
It's alright.
it's alright.
I mean, you got
It's a good way
Luris.
to bring back your stuff.
You already have Luris in this kind of space, so it makes it kind of like, until that kind of goes away, this isn't, I don't think it's going to do too much.
Still, bro.
It's still pretty cool, but
Still, it keeps things that like exile your graveyard from getting like your boyos.
yeah, well, going right along because there's so many cards to talk about.
Yeah.
We have Shacklegeist, 1 and a blue for a 2/2 flyer. Shacklegeist can block only creatures with flying, and you can tap 2 untap spirits you control, and you tap for a creature you don't control. You know, Spirit Tribal. I don't think does this really go into spirits anywhere else? I don't really think so.
No, I don't think so.
It's like a lackluster spirit. I mean, the effect is fine. You probably play this if you pulled it, of course. I mean, yeah, 2 mana 2/2 flyer, but this isn't the most exciting spirit to talk about, so I think we can just kind of go through it. But the next card I think is pretty cool. You have Liliana Standard Bearer, 2 and a black for a 3/1 with flash. It's a zombie knight. And you have when Liliana Standard Bearer enters the battlefield, draw X cards, where X is the number of creatures that died under your control this turn. What do you guys think about this one?
It was like, okay, board wipe just came through. I'm just gonna draw cards.
Board wipe just came through.
I don't know how often I would actually. I'm not always a fan of these cards. Like,
I don't mind them.
I know that there was a black red one that brings back those creatures in your hand or graveyard or something like that from Dominaria.
Marna the Blood Flame or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of these per se.
I mean,
because,
this
like,
one
you
is
always-
cheaper, and then you
yeah.
get to draw cards. I mean, it's not bad. Plus, now you have a 3-1.
Yeah,
Every turn.
I guess it depends. 'Cause,
What do you mean,
I don't know.
that's
For
right?
me, it's just usually, you can just run the other one that was already in
Yeah, the night.
Yeah,
Midnight Reaper.
Midnight
No.
Reaper. You might as well just run Midnight Reaper because you still have the same body except it has an extra toughness.
I mean, this has flash though. You could get some surprise blocks or something as well. A little bit extra utility, but I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool. Also, I think Midnight Reaper is a zombie too. Maybe you just play both. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, keeping on with the fast pace so we can get through this set. We have double vision. We have 3 red for an enchantment. Another big red enchantment. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, copy that spell. Boom. Choose the targets for the copy.
Too bad Twin Staff is not in standard.
This is interesting because this effect has been printed way more than once. But this is not only cheaper, but it only does the first spell. Is this card playable? I don't know.
Someone will do it, and we'll just be running the ultimatums.
Oh, double ultimatums. I
Yeah.
like that.
I
I
mean-
like that a lot.
Because if you double the Jeskai one, I don't even remember the
Yeah, the
name.
Jeskai one, it's inspired ultimatum. Like, the Jeskai one itself is not that great, but 2 of it. 10 damage, 10 cards.
It's a 20-point life screen.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good. That's pretty good. You know,
Then you play the red card that triples damage.
triple damage. Hey, triple double, bro. Give me that triple double. Triple double. Alright. Yeah, so yeah, this is pretty cool. It's probably also going to be a commander card. It's a cheaper version that kind of effect. You might see it with the ultimatums. You might see it with burn spells. I don't know.
It's whatever. It's an alright card.
Yeah, the next card is another a card that's just gotten their first named card since the person was created in the story. You have Joriel Mwanvuli Recluse. You have 1 to green for a 1/2 human druid. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 2/2 green cat creature token. So a little bit of a weird effect to have on a green creature. That's not super usual, but you have 4 green. Until end of turn, creatures you control have base power and toughness XX, where X is the number of cards in your hand. So it's a pump, and it makes creatures, but it totally depends on you having draw spells in your deck, which is kind of interesting. So this kind of lends itself to like a green-blue deck, I guess. Do you think that there's like a deck for this at all?
What do you mean? Of course it.
What,
You
what-
have the 5 mana 6/6 that attacks and draws a card.
Yeah, you think
Yeah.
that you would just put this in like a grindy mid-range?
I think you just put in some kind of deck that just kind of has good cards.
It's okay,
that have
Simic. Simic ramp.
This is true.
You
Does
just
Simic
play your
ramp play
Growth
this?
Spiral. Growth Spiral Uro. They draw you a card.
This with Uro is pretty good. I like that a lot. I'm not sure about Growth Spiral because you kind of want to play that in their turn, I guess. But
It doesn't. Oh yeah, second card. No, it doesn't matter. Some people just do it like immediately, so they just can play another 2-drop.
I don't know. I think that this is pretty good. I think this might be some kind of mid-range. Might even just... It feels like there's a mono-colored deck of each kind, but maybe this would go in it. But this will also be... Some people will be playing this as their commander with really obscure green draw cards. Some people will be playing this in commander. But either way, the next card is a meme. Fernie, we want to tackle the meme card?
We got 9 lives, 1 and 2 white for a hexproof enchantment that says if a source would deal damage to you, prevent that damage, and put an incarnation counter on 9 lives. When there are 9 or more incarnation counters on 9 lives, exile it. When 9 lives leaves the battlefield, you lose the game.
So,
Cry.
yeah, they make a card kind of like this every once in a while. I get it. You know, I get the joke. I get the reference. Everybody gets it, you know. Does this card mean anything? I guess people are saying, yeah, you can play it like Solemnity, you can play it with some other cards. But in the end of the day, that's pretty janky, dude. It's a funny card.
Proliferating that thing.
Yeah, it can be proliferated.
No, that's why you have Solemnity.
That's what we're saying. You know, yeah, somebody's gonna play with Solemnity. Ha 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 ha. But that's just janky. It's a meme card.
I mean, it was a modern deck.
What's a modern deck?
When you run Solemnity and Phyrexian Unlife.
Yeah, you just remove on life and you just put this instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's legal and historic. Legal and pioneer.
Whatever.
It's not even like a really good deck though. Yeah, the next one is pretty good, but I think doesn't really have a home just yet. But it's Storming Entity. You have 3 blue for a 3/3 flyer, but it also says the spell costs 2 and a blue less to cast if you've cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, and when it enters, it's scry 2, and it has prowess. So yeah, it's just a 2-mana 3/3. If you cast an instant, you can just opt on your turn, and then you get a 3/3 with prowess with flying, and you scry 2.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's pretty good.
2 mana, 33 flying prowess.
If blue ends up having some kind of tempo, it might be pretty cool. I don't really think it.
You probably play it in Modern. You just play Metamorphose, and then you just immediately play it.
Like turn 2 Storming Entity,
Yeah.
and you get a scry 2 and have a 3/3 prowess. I mean, yeah, because you have.
Because you can try and storm off, and if they stop you, I'm assuming at this point that thing could probably be like a 15/15, and you can just kill them with that.
Oh, you're saying like do your storm thing, and even if they block your payload, this thing is going to be big.
Yeah.
So they have to be able to answer your storm payoff and this. That's pretty good. But yeah, again, it's in some of the. I mean, it's of course some of the cards are going to be. You're gonna look at it, you're gonna think of some fun stuff, and you're like, okay,
Some cards just
move on with my life.
It'll take a while, and somebody's gonna figure out a way to break it, and then
Yeah.
that card will be like $20 more.
I don't think this card will be $20.
No.
I think this card will be like 20 cents, bro.
No, I think
it's
this
gonna be
card
like Arc-like Phoenix.
Like 10 buckos.
Arclight Phoenix go up to $20 and go down to like $8.
That's mainly because it was reprinted to Oblivion, and then they also banned Faithless
I
Oblivion.
think this card will be 10 buckos once people start playing.
Really? That's the Fernando official spec, bro.
It'll probably
Yeah.
be 3, and then if it actually starts seeing play, it'll be like 5 or 7.
My spec.
You'll see it,
My
bro.
spec. So, you say what? $10?
10 buckos.
You say $3?
Yeah.
I say like 50 cents.
Damn, dog.
This is bulk to me.
This is just a decent card.
This is bulk to me. I don't know. That's just me. Who knows? But the next card, pretty cool. You have Necromentia. 1 black for a sorcery. Choose a card name other than a basic land card name. Search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with that name and exile them. We've seen this effect before. You have like the Oblivion and what is it, Fate Forgotten or whatever.
Yeah, there was
So many
what
effects.
was it, like Lost Legacy or something?
Lost Legacy, that's what it was. Lost Legacy, and most recently Unworthy Go. This effect has come in many flavors, but this is the first time that they've strayed away from the typical formula for it, as in, this says, that player shuffles their library, then create a 2/2 black zombie creature token for each card exiled from their hand this way. So normally these effects will let them redraw cards for every card you took for them. This doesn't do that. This gives them 2/2s. So maybe you duress them or something, and you see that they have 2 or 3 copies of the same card in their hand, and it could even be a land. It doesn't, as long as it's not a basic. They have 2 or 3 steam vents in their hand or something, and you're like, okay, Necromentia, steam vents, no more steam vents. You get 3 2/2s. I'm like Caverick, bro. Think about it. I don't know. This one seems like a pretty good version of that. This seems like a pretty good version of that effect, in my opinion.
I like it.
Anyways,
You just want to roll past this one? I think it's good, as you see how they play in a lot of sideboards.
I mean, because it's like we've already had this effect multiple times, but this
There's
time
2/2s now.
2/2s, which are actually pretty good because you can actually manage that. Giving
Just make a creature that blocks.
Yeah.
You could even block with.
Most of the time, you don't have to answer him right away. You can just like wait a little bit because they're only 2/2s, so there's so much they can do.
And they're probably only going to get like 1 2 anyway.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll get 0. You just remove whatever the card was.
Imagine like the odds of them having like 3 copies in their hand though. That would be funny. If they had all 4.
If they had all 4, that might actually be a problem. Because then it's like going into their turn 3, they're going to crack you for 8 at least.
nah, dog. You just play Kevrick, bro.
Yeah, I mean, now they get you for 4, bro.
It's okay. This is why.
No, they hit you for like 3 and you block one, bro.
No.
Speaking of blocking, you can't block with this next card. I don't know. We were talking. Yeah,
It's a lie. You can't attack. You can block, bro.
You can block the 2/2 zombies from Necromentia with Gedrick the Crown Scourge.
Yeah, dog.
That's
He's
pretty
only
crazy,
a 2
bro.
mana. He's a 3 mana 5/4, bro. He's a 2 and a red.
At this point, you want to read the rest of it?
Yeah, dog. He's a 5/4 flying legendary dragon. He can't attack unless you control 4 or more artifacts. But the kicker is that on your end step, you create tokens of treasures for each non-token creature that died this turn.
I think he's really good.
He's alright.
In my opinion.
He's also just a 3-mana 5/4 with flying, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, it is a dragon for all these dragons they've been printing. But, getting some treasures, like it making its own treasures is not only good because it'll let it attack, right? But also it's a 3-mana 5/4 that's making you treasures every time stuff dies. And that could be a pretty big game. You can get a lot of free mana or even artifacts or other effects.
I mean, if anything, you just look at it as another piece of ramp, honestly.
Exactly. It's like you think of Smothering Tide. This is another way to get that kind of effect. Like a 3-mana thing that's going to... You can even block with it too. Do you know what I mean?
Teamer ramp.
This is
I'm taking my deck ideas, bro.
This is technically a ramp card, bro. This will help you go into the Ugin, the card that we said we wouldn't say, but said like 50 times. Yeah, so without further ado, getting closer to Ugin, the next card is Primal Might. X and a green, sorcery. Her creature gets +X/+X on a turn, then it fights.
Really good limited card.
I think that's just a good card in general.
That's a good card.
Just like Prey Upon, I think, kind of, for the kind of green grindy decks, almost barely doesn't make the cut. But this is better.
Punch.
This is better.
Plus 2 fights on
This is better than Prey Upon, dude.
You just have a Land Memorials out, and then it's like, I need this to actually kill the 5/5, and then out of nowhere,
Yeah, and the Land Memorials can tap to make itself bigger to fight.
Yeah, no.
This is crazy, honestly. It's like
nice.
it.
Sadly, it's sorcery speed.
Well, you can use it to clear the way and then get in. So it's simultaneously getting that pump and clearing the way. Or it's just a removal spell that could be really cheap or bigger if you needed to let your smaller creatures kill bigger creatures.
Yeah,
it's okay, whatever you target, I'll just kill it.
No, you won't, bro. Wanna know why?
Why?
Because I'm the pack leader, dude.
Stop,
Bro. Okay, yeah, so the next card is pack leader. I can't do it. You read it.
Pack leader. 1 and a white for a dog. My dog over here. My homie G. He has other dogs you control get +1/+1, and whenever pack leader attacks, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn to dogs you control. So you just keep attacking with him. He's just a good bear. That's it.
Yeah.
He's a really good bear that protects your other dogs.
But it's the first dog bear.
First dog bear.
Well, it's a dog.
Yo,
Oh yeah, we should
spreading that thing, bro.
We should also mention that now all hounds are dogs.
All hounds are dogs.
That's just a weird errata.
Errata.
Yeah, it's for the set because they wanted to make a cat versus dog kind of thing going on.
And then they made that other card, which is not cat versus dog, that we have to get to later.
Anyway, yeah, we have cats versus dogs now, and then this is the dog lord, and the other one's the cat lord, and yeah, this one makes your stuff indestructible. So makes your stuff indestructible, and it's a pack leader. It's pretty cool.
It's been too long.
I get it. I get the meme, but I'm not too keen.
He's got a hat, bro.
He does have a hat. That's kind of weird. Anyway, the next card is insane. Who likes Cryptic Command? You're like, man, I really like Cryptic Command, but I wish it just had like more modes and that you could use all the modes.
I like Manager.
I wish that it was a full art foil that I could use constantly.
Exactly, dude. I wish it would have had no text. But anyway, the next one is the Cryptic Command 2.0. We have Sublime Epiphany. 4 blue for an instant. Choose one or more. You can do as many of this effect as you want. Counter target spell. Boom. Alright, we did it, boys. This is a good card already. 2. Counter target activated or triggered ability. That's kind of a corner case, but it might happen. You might have a spell and an ability on the stack. 3. Return target ally permanent to its owner's hand. Okay, so I'm countering your spell and I'm bouncing your thing. What does tempo play? I'm countering your effect and I'm bouncing your thing. What does tempo play? That can happen all the time. There's almost never going to be enough time where you don't have a non-permanent to bounce. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. What? Bro. I just countered your spell, bounced your thing, and made a copy of my biggest creature. Also, target player draws a card. I'm like, wait. Sorry, bro. I haven't took a dump on you enough, bro. Sorry, I'm gonna draw a card off the top of my library, bro. It's another Sublime Epiphany. Sorry, bro. Sorry, I need another copy of this creature, dude. Oh, I need to draw another card. Oh my god, it's a necromantia,
Stop doing
dude.
everything, bro.
This card is great. I love this card so much.
You know, what if we just took every blue card that exists and put it into one card, bro?
Exactly.
That's why it's like 1 mana for every single mode.
Well, one of them's got to be 2 mana, because obviously counterspell is 2 mana.
No, it's obviously copy target creature, bro.
No, that's a 1 mana to me. For blue, that's 1 mana to me.
No, that's 2. Imagine
That
if
draw
Agent of
card
Treachery
is-
was still here. You just copy that.
Oof.
This would be great in an Agent of Treachery deck, because they try to remove your Agent of Treachery, and your response, you not only get to keep it, you make another one. And you draw a card just so... They're like, finally I gotta get rid of that agent. He keeps blanking it with Urian. I'm like, oh, no. Okay, I get you another land, dude. That's so bad.
Alright.
Anyway, yeah, so it's great. It's gonna say you can play in Commander. I'm sure there's gonna be some kind of standard control decks that would love at least 1 or 2 copies of it.
Dude, there's like ramp decks that love that deck.
Yeah, because you get to copy creatures. Yeah, so the next card is...
Nightmare Fuel.
Yeah, I don't...
It's not even that nightmarish, it's just weird.
Fernie's like, yeah, this is a pretty average everyday thing that I see.
Yeah, dog.
So this is Peer into the Abyss. So sorcery is 4, black, 7 mana. Target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library and loses half their life. Round up each time. What? So you draw half your library, or I guess maybe if you're in a mill deck for some reason, you could make your opponent draw half their library and they lose half their life.
I'm
I
sure
guess.
there's something that's like, every time you draw a card, lose a life or something.
So they just die.
You just play Mill Deck.
You put this in Nekuzar, right? So you just kill an opponent?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty cool. I guess I wouldn't necessarily kill them if their life total in their library.
Still.
You'd be pretty close. They
Pretty
lose half their
nice.
life and get dealt like 40 damage or something. So they probably die. They'd probably die.
They're probably gonna die.
Situation is not exact, but they'd probably die.
Look at here.
I don't know. It's whatever. It's a commander card. If you play this in standard, I'm gonna hurt you.
If I play this in standard, I'm gonna counter it with Sublime Epiphany.
Yeah, you spend your 7 mana trying to make me draw cards. First I'm gonna laugh at you, and then I'm gonna counter it, and then I'm gonna copy my Elder Gargoth, and then I'm gonna draw a card, and then I'm gonna counter your triggered ability, and then I'm gonna put your Liliana in your hand. Like, isn't that Sublime is so good? I know. Like you've heard of the 2-for-1. Sometimes you've even seen the 3-for-1. The 4-for-1, rare but unheard of. The 5-for-1? The 5-for-1 at instant
Get
speed?
out the house, bro.
Get out of my house, dude. The fuck? The 5.
It's like you're playing, what was that? The Greek game or whatever.
Great game, bro.
I shouldn't remember.
I love Greek games.
Because they have the thing where it's like
bro.
they have like the
You know that the
quintuple kill or something.
the
I don't know, bro.
the earliest
You played the
D20
game.
ever found was in Greece, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. The earliest D20 ever found
What?
was
Have
in
you
Greece.
have you ever heard
He's
of
talking
it?
about Greek games, and then we just flew off the rails.
It's almost like League of Legends. I already forgot the name of it.
I don't think that's a Greek game.
You mean like a quadra kill, bro?
Yeah, Quadro Kill.
That's not a
Have
game.
you ever played like a MOBA, bro?
No.
Alright, anyways, on to the
I
next
have
one.
no clue where that was coming from or where it went.
We could just cut that out, it's fine.
You know what? Let's leave it in, bro.
Let's go to the
next
bloopers.
one is Subira, Tolzidi Caravaneer.
You just offended like 8 people.
Shut up, bro.
I'm offended.
You have 2 in a red for a 2/3 with haste. Great. 1 mana. Another target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. Okay, pretty good. 1 in a red, tap, discard your hand until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Ooh! What?
It's pretty good in those Cavalcade of Calamity builds.
Yeah, it's like, hey everybody, remember when red drew cards? Me neither, but now it does. It just does.
Do you remember when they reprinted this next card? Like
Man, you were just like rolling through this. Like, I wanted to keep pace, but Fernley's like, each card gets 5 seconds.
Yo, you
bro.
remember this amazing card called Scavenging Ooze?
Yeah,
It's 1
this-
in a green
yeah.
for an amazing card.
I think a lot of a lot of the reprints people are talking about are not going to be as impactful as some of these other ones.
But who
like,
cares?
people are like, oh my god, Azusa, oh my god, everything, like, Cultivate, blah, blah, blah. But, like, Scavenging Ooze, when that was in Standard, that was huge. And, like, I don't see why this would be any different.
It doesn't matter. It's a good card.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's
Pay
gonna be
1
huge.
green, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, put a 1 counter on Scavenging Ooze. And
Wow.
you gain 1 life.
Seems like that Scoos would be a problem if it weren't for my Ruined Halo.
Cease!
Stop. The segues are too fast. What is going on, guys? Scavenging Ooze, I think, is going to be really great in Standard. It's going to go in that green-red ramp deck. It's going to go with all these kind of different synergies. You exile your creatures, their creatures. Your 2-mana 2/2 is going to become a 2-mana 10/10 before you even know it. It is insane. And also, it has some value. It probably will go down a lot after this reprint. But
I don't care.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate
On
you
to the
too.
next one. Ruined Halo, 2 white, enchantment. As Ruined Halo enters the battlefield, choose a card name. You have protection from chosen card name.
Another reprint.
Yeah, it's another reprint. It's a pretty good reprint. It makes me sad sometimes, but you know, it's a good reprint. Anyways, on to the next one.
Be like that,
A
man.
new card,
Yeah, man.
Teferi's Ageless
Bro.
Insight, 2 and 2 blue for a legendary enchantment that says, if you would draw a card, except the first one you draw on each of your turns, of each of your draw steps, draw 2 cards.
Yeah, so this is like the new Alhambra's Archive,
Yeah, dog.
which I think this one. Okay, yeah, it's blue. It's legendary. The other one's legendary too. So this is blue, but it costs 1 less. And I think most of the time you're playing Alhambra's Archive, you're probably in blue anyway. So this might take that one's place in a lot of decks.
And then you
I think
imagine
it's
you
better
opt
because
and
it's
you draw
also
2
a little
cards.
harder to get rid of enchantments.
Yeah, artifacts are a lot easier to kill. Yeah, so it's the new Alhambra's Archive. I think the only thing Alhambra's Archive does better is it doubles life, right? But I mean, who's really gaining a bunch of life?
I guess life gain decks, but at the same time, it's like, do you even really run
Who
that?
cares?
Who's
You don't-
playing life? You're playing life
who
gain
needs-
decks.
Who
Why are
wants
you-
life
why are
gain to
you-
win the game?
But anyway, I got the next card. Alright, Steve's Guild, Enforcer, 1 black, creature, human, rogue, flash. Whenever Thieves Guild, Enforcer, or another rogue enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent mills 2 cards. As long as an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, Thieves Guild gets +2/+1 and has Death Touch. The reason why I love this card is because I love Mill as an archetype. And Mill is just essentially you put the top however many cards of your deck into the graveyard.
Yeah, can we talk about that for a second? Mill is now an actual keyword.
Yeah, from what I saw, they were debating about it for many years as what the keyword should be, and after a while, they were like, "Man, we can't think of a good keyword. Everyone keeps telling us to make it mill the keyword. Let's just make mill the keyword," and they just did it. That's literally how it went.
Nice.
They were gonna push. This isn't like that. There used to be a card from Kaladesh that was similar, like a 1-mana card that became a 3/2. I don't remember what it was called, but this is kind of the new version of that, and.
Wasn't it a white card or something like that?
Yeah, that one was the one that was based on artifacts. This is based off cards in graveyard. I think this one's pretty good, and then the fact that it has flash, also pretty neat. I don't think this takes the place of Knight of Ebon Legion anytime soon, but when Knight of Ebon Legion is gone, this is
just
be
a
it.
plus.
Yeah. Yeah, the next few cards, the power level is going to go down significantly.
Exponentially.
The next one is Transmogrify. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. This is just like a polymorph. It's a red polymorph. 3 in a red polymorph. Boom.
Next.
Imagine Invasion of Treachery were still in the format.
Yeah, but you still have Luca, which is just.
I know, but still, essentially, if you had that and Luca, that would be like almost 8 ways to cheat it into play.
That is true. But you already have ways to cheat and play. You just have Winota. I hate Winota.
I hate all
If
the
I had
bad
Winota
cards.
in front of me right now, I'd say, hey, stop doing that.
They got suspended. I think it got emergency suspended in Historic.
Yeah. I mean, that might be a sign of things to come, but we will see. Because it was like cheating. It was cheating Agent of Treachery into play, and then now it's just cheating other stuff into play, which is almost just as bad. But honestly, no. I'm kind of done with that as well.
Honestly, though, on to the next one. Spore Web Weaver. 2 and a green for a creature spider. It has reach and hexproof in blue, which is pretty nice, I guess. Whenever Spore Web Weaver is dealt damage, you gain a life and you create a 1/1 green sapperling creature token.
Which is pretty cool. It's got so the previous creature, the other green one had hexproof from black. This has hexproof from blue, which is kind of a lot more narrow. But it's a good blocker, and it's really good against aggro. So your opponents are trying to get you, and you're just like, whatever, bro.
White weenies? I don't care.
I just block with my 1/4.
I'll gain a life, and I'll make a 1/1.
Yeah. The next card, though, I think is pretty cool. It's the Speaker of the Heavens. It's a 1-mana 1/1 for white. It's Vigilance and Lifelink, and it says tap, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Activates ability only if you have at least 7 more life than your starting life total, and only anytime you can cast a sorcery.
Sure.
Cast a few healing spells, including one that has been reprinted. That's really good in this set. And this guy just starts making 4/4s. It's like a 1-mana 1/1 threat that actually needs to be answered, and it has lifelinks for the incidental life gain early in the game. Might be able to help you out. So I think there isn't another mono blue rare to go over, so we'll just kind of skip over to the next mono black rare, which is Veto, Thorn of the Dusk Rose. 2 in a black for 1/3. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. 5-mana creature you control gain life until turn.
That hurts.
That's a mid-range card. That's a pretty good
Yeah.
mid-range card. And there's already a planeswalker that gives all your creatures lifelink without having to pay. The Sorin. So you could just pop this, then Sorin, then attack. That's a pretty big swing. In IMO. In my opinion, bro. So there's one more rare to go over, a monocolored, and then we're gonna jump around the commons and uncommons, and then go into the multicolored and the colorless. So, Fernie, you want to take over this since this is your kind of card?
The last rare, bro. This Volcanic Salvo, which is 10 and 2 red, and you're probably saying that's really bad.
12 mana, bro?
But the spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total power of creatures you control. So for me, this is basically only 2 mana.
Yeah.
Volcanic Salvo deals 6 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures and or planeswalkers. So it's just a 2 mana kill spell for like 2 things.
Yeah.
If you're good at the game. Anyways.
Okay, so yeah, it's a red burn spell.
It's
not exactly the X spell that we kind of want, but hey, you kill 2 creatures, it probably doesn't cost very much. So yeah, without further ado, we could hop around into some of the more interesting commons and uncommons. The first one that I was kind of thinking of is Archfiend's Vessel. It's a 1 black for a 1/1 with lifelink. It says when it enters the battlefield, if it entered from your graveyard, or if you cast it from your graveyard, exile it. If you do, create a 5/5 black demon creature token with flying. You can bring this back with Luris and get a 5/5.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
good.
That's pretty cool.
Imagine if they didn't nerf Companion.
That is true. You could just play Luris. You don't have to make it your companion.
True.
This is true. There's also they got a couple good ones like this one.
You want to talk about that one?
Yeah, miscasts. It's just 1 blue, instant, counter target instant or sorcery, counter target instant or sorcery spell unless its controller pays 3.
Yeah,
that's
so
just
it's
better than a spell pierce.
Not exactly. I can't counter enchantments, artifacts.
True, but I
planeswalkers.
feel like usually with spell pierce you're targeting.
Yeah, usually you're putting in spell pierce against control.
Yeah.
So this is much better. This also helps
Yeah.
against people playing Mystical Dispute. Like I don't think I would really be bringing a spell pierce just to stop planeswalkers. I would probably just bring in negate at that point, or something like that.
Or like an actual counter. Like that
Ooh.
6 mana one we talked about earlier. Sublime Epiphany. Anyways, back to the actual card.
Here's another reprint. Cultivate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty nice.
Who doesn't like Cultivate? This is another way to get your commander copies super easily. There's open M21 packs to make your M21 packs more spicy too.
Yeah.
Speaking of reprints,
yeah.
Fierce Empath. Another commander card.
Interesting reprint, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just 2 and a green, 1/1, get a 6-drop creature or higher. There's some more reprints. You want to talk about any of these?
It's Faith's
Faith Fetters.
It's just back. It's
Yeah.
it's
Same as that Rewind.
the
Also
Rewind
back.
is also back.
New one. Eliminate. You guys want to talk about Eliminate?
It's pretty alright.
Yeah, just head over to the multicolor.
It's
Eliminate's cool.
It's 1 and a black for an instant destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cost 3 or less. I mean, it's pretty alright. I mean, it gets rid of like how many of these new planeswalkers? 1.
It's okay,
Hey.
just unban Oko now.
Exactly. Now that you have the real answer to Oko.
Yeah, now that you
I'm bad
waited
Oko,
this
bro.
long to release good kill spell for Oko.
Hey, what about Garrick's Uprising? 2 and a green for an enchantment when it enters the
that's
battlefield.
something I was like, that's dumb.
Yeah, when it enters the
That's-
battlefield, if you have a creature power 4 or greater, draw a card. Creatures you control have trample. When at the beginning, the creature, whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card.
So basically, this is draw 2 cards if you play 4 greater creature.
Enters the battlefield for, I mean, if you're playing that kind of deck, it's like it enters, it replaces itself, it gives all your big creatures trample, and every subsequent creature you play draws you a card,
Yeah.
which keep the ball rolling. Which I think, in that kind of green mid-rangey deck, could be pretty cool.
Yeah, also trample. A lot of times your big creatures don't even have trample sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and this just makes it like you don't care anymore. Because usually you're like, okay, I'm just gonna have to beat a wall of weenies. Now it's like, I don't care about the wall of weenies.
Yeah. What about these cards on here? You got Heartfire Immolator, is pretty cool. We got 2 and a 2/2 with Prowess, which is a pretty good rate, and you can pay red, sacrifice it to deal damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
They reprinted Kitesail Freebooter, which is pretty cool. But more importantly, I think what you guys are pooping your pants about is the Sanctum of Calm Waters.
Yeah,
You
no.
have 3 and a blue for legendary enchantment. Shrine, that's right, everybody. Shrines is back. You have at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you may draw X cards, where X is the number of shrines you control. If you do, discard a card. Yeah, so it's the Haunted of Seeing Winds, but now it's Calm Waters, and yeah, it's the blue draw spell Honden.
It's scary.
Yeah, Hondens are good. Hondens are scarily good. They
Imagine
very good.
winning.
Imagine winning.
Imagine winning. Anyways, more cards.
You have Liliana's Devotee, which is 2 and a black for a 2/3. Zombies you control get +1/+0. It's a pretty good lord for zombies. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you may pay 1 and a black. If you do, make a zombie token. Do 2.
That's a
Pretty
Wow.
It's a decent card.
Yeah, you got Quarian Dryad. It's a reprint. They brought it back. They downshifted it to uncommon. Pretty cool. We have some more shrines that we can see here. We have Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest, 2 and a green for a legendary enchantment shrine. The beginning of your pre-combat main phase. Add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of shrines you control. So it's a ramp
It's a
shrine.
pretty good ramp. I mean, it's 3 mana, get 1
Yeah.
every turn.
And
but
you
also
have you have the white one, which is 5 and a white. Tap target creature. This ability costs 1 less to cast for each shrine you control.
it's the weakest of the shrines.
Yeah, but I mean, it can help protect you if you're playing shrines.
It's also just a 1 mana shrine.
True.
So whatever.
Yeah, so this is a card I think Angel wanted to talk about. We have Teferi's Tutelage. It's like Sphinx's Tutelage.
Yeah.
But at least you get a loot when it enters. And then it
Yeah.
mills them. Is mill back?
You know,
Is mill good?
It was
No.
always good.
it's
Bro,
not.
oh my god.
He's a lie.
Mill is always good. Yeah, what other cards do we want to go to? Oh, so we have the reds, the red one. We have the Sanctum of Shattered Heights, which is 2 and a red.
You already skipped the green one.
He said
we
the,
talked about
that was the
that.
first. He did it.
One-
the first one.
One,
paying
discard a
attention.
land or shrine card. Sanctum of Shattered Heights deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, where X is the number of shrines you control.
It's not bad. For 1 mana, just discard a land.
It's pretty bad.
It's alright.
It's pretty bad.
It's okay.
You say so, bro.
It's okay.
Let's see. What other kinds of great commons and uncommons? So we have the black one. We have Sanctum of Stone Fangs. We have 1 or black. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life for X is the number of shrines. So that's a big hitter. We have
Reprint.
the Thrashing Brontodon reprint. We have
Soulseer.
you want to talk about Soulseer? 2 and a red instant. Soulseer does 5 damage to target creature planeswalker. That permanent loses indestructible to end a turn.
It's pretty good. One of
It reminds me of a card that I saw up here.
one of the first red cards, I think. Actually, I don't even know a red card that does that.
Removes indestructible.
Yeah. I don't know how relevant
I
that
don't
would be.
remember.
Hour of Devastation.
But
True.
there was one up there. It's a Pestilent Haze, 1 and 2 black. It's a sorcery for all creatures get -2/-2 until a turn, or remove 2 loyalty counters from each planeswalker.
That's pretty good.
It's a
I mean,
3 mana.
That effect has to be reprinted every few sets so we can have it. Being able to hit planeswalkers is pretty cool. You have Silver Smoke Ghoul, which is another zombie for the zombie deck. 2 and a black for a 3/1 zombie at the beginning of your end step. If you gain 3 more life this turn, return it to the battlefield tapped. So this one can keep coming back pretty reliably, and you can pay 1 and a black, sack it to draw a card. Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And we're back after a quick little noise cut. We have Unsubstantiate, brought back after a long time. You can return target spell or creature to its owner's hand, which I think is pretty cool. You have Tempered Veteran, 2 mana 1/2, but you can pay 1 and tap it to put 1/1 counter on target creature with a 1/1 counter on it. Quite a few creatures that have 1/1 counters in this set and other sets, and you can pay 6 to put a counter on target creature to get the ball rolling. What else do we got, boys? We got Unleash Fury, 2 mana instant, double the power of target creature to end a turn.
That's pretty nasty. We talked about that earlier, right? Where you pair that with like with
because it's word, it's not double strike. You
Yeah,
can
it's
add
not
it to
double
double
strike.
strike to
Okay.
make it double, and then you add it to the triple of Fiery Emancipation. You're just kind of going crazy. You have Wildwood Scourge. It's a Hydra, man. It's just a Hydra, dude.
For some odd
Which-
reason, they brought Vern Wingmayer back.
Downshifted to uncommon. The second downshifted card in this set.
Feels bad. Man.
Also, cancel.
Bruh.
You're canceled.
We gotta reprint it. That's a lie, bro.
You have Witch's Cauldron. A pretty good sack outlet. I think it'll be a limited powerhouse.
Also, for some reason, Volcanic Geyser's back.
I think Volcanic Kaiser's pretty good. It's an X spell.
Oh
It's
my
good with
god,
triples.
it's here.
Alpine Watchdog.
No, Colossal Dreadmon. Come on now.
Oh,
The true.
Alpine Watchdog. Of course, he's talking about Bone Pit Brute, dude.
Dude.
Yeah, Colossal Dreadmon. It's back. Everybody's like, ooh, doo, doo, boo.
It's in every set.
It
never
is
leaves.
for some reason.
Man,
What
this set is gonna suck to play.
Limited.
No,
Dude,
Pack Ward.
Oh, Pack War. I was like, dude, Limited is gonna be amazing. This is one of the
Pack
best
Ward
Limited.
is gonna suck.
Limited
Also,
in
you
this set's
just,
gonna be
you
great.
just pull out Ugin and it's like mine.
Is he the highest? Is he well?
No,
There's a
it's
12 mana as the salvo.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Dude,
That's
it's
so bad.
only 2 mana for
Oh,
me,
that's
bro.
funny.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, there's more cards, boys. Capture Spheres back again, ready to play.
Burn Bright.
Yeah, there's a lot of cards that are back.
I would say
That Burn
honestly,
Bright.
this set feels like a standards past almost. Like all the cards from the past standard that were kind of hits were just all came into view.
Yeah, they're gonna revitalize the format with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
You got Launar Visionary. It's a Launar Elf and a Elvish Visionary just boop stapled together. 3 mana 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. You could tap it, add a green. Goes into the ramp deck.
Duress is back again.
Yep, Lofty Denial, pretty cool. We got 1 and a blue for a counter target spell unless the controller pays 1. If you control a creature with flying, counter that spell unless the controller pays 4 instead.
Opt is back again.
Opt is back again.
Finishing Blow, new limited kill spell.
Yeah.
At least it's an instant. I mean, every time they print like high cost kill spells, it's usually just a sorcery speed, and you just cry. Feet of Resistance, protection card.
Yeah, another reprint from Fate Reforged.
Yeah.
Grasp of Darkness reprint, pretty cool. Ranger's
Yeah.
Guile reprint, also good. As you say, normally we can get through the commons and uncommons super fast, but there's a lot of really interesting things to at least mention.
Yeah, there's a lot of like good cards. There's Scorching Dragonfire is back.
That's a reprint from Eldraine.
Yeah, I know.
Shock is back with the old art, which is pretty cool. Revitalize is good. That was an amazing cantrip back in the day. Oh, Village Rites. Of course,
Oh yeah,
Village
that's
Rites.
right.
1 black instant, additional cost to cast this, sack a creature, draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
Instant speed, 1 mana, sack a creature, draw 2 cards. That's pretty good, if you ask me.
Yeah. And I guess we're on to the next section.
Okay, we got through the monocolored commons and uncommons.
So
Get it
many
out of the
cards.
way. So we have these multicolored mythics and rares. We have Rin and Seri Inseparable. This is the buy a box promo. It's 1 red, green, white for a 4/4 dog cat, because it's a cat and a dog. It says whenever you cast a dog spell, create a 1/1 green cat. Whenever you cast a cat spell, create a 1/1 white dog. And it says red, green, white, tap, Rin and Seri Inseparable, deal damage to any target equal to the number of dogs you control. You gain life equal to the number of cats. There it is, boys. Dog Cat Tribal. It's happening. It's in Brawl. It's now in Commander. It's happened. For sure, it's happening. Somebody's going to do it.
Big cry.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. People have been making a lot of memes about the art on this card. I mean it's just a dog and a cat, but I guess people like it, so it's pretty cool, and it's gonna be fun. Some people are gonna make it. It's gonna definitely be a fun deck. The other card is Nyambi, Esteemed Speaker, white and a blue for a 2/1 with flash. It says when Nyambi, Esteemed Speaker, enters the battlefield, you may return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, you gain life equal to that creature's CMC. You can pay 1 white and a blue, tap it to discard a legendary card, and then you draw 2 cards. Hey, bro, you can discard your Hondens or something.
Legendary lands.
Oh yeah. So it's pretty cool. A 2-mana 2/1 with flash to save your creature on its own and then gain some life. That's pretty good. A pretty good swingy combat. A defensive card, and then every once in a while you could just exchange one of your legendaries for some other cards if you're in a pinch. So I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think also, I believe in the story this character is the daughter of Teferi, which I think is pretty neat, seeing as this is like the Teferi set. Yeah, the next is the legendary Honden, the multicolored, is the Sanctum of All. It's for a Wubberg, 5 mana, legendary shrine. It says at the beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library and or graveyard for a shrine card and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. So you get a shrine every turn. It says if an ability of another shrine you control triggers while you control 6 or more shrines, that ability triggers an additional time. So if you've got 6 shrines, not only are you already winning, you get to double win with your shrines. So this is going to go into somebody's Honden tribal deck.
Double lose if you draw too many cards, though.
Yeah. So yeah, there's not too much about that. It's pretty janky. It is what it is. You also have Rada, the Heart of Keld. 1 red and green for a 3/3. It says as long as it's your turn, Rada, Heart of Keld has first strike. So it's a 3 mana 3/3 first strike, which is pretty cool. It says you may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may play lands from the top of your library.
That's really good.
That is really good, because that effect has only been really, I think that specific effect has only ever been on a 3 mana 2/4, which is not super aggressive.
There was another one, right?
This is hyper aggressive.
I forget what his name is.
There's Oracle Moldiah,
Yeah,
but that's different. That one's like you get to play additional land as well. This one is like you don't get additional ones, you just get the land.
To play it off.
But this is on an aggressive effect.
Yeah, this is an aggressive effect, and it's another thing.
Yeah, it's 6 mana, 4 red green. You get to pump it +X on a turn where X is the number of lands you control. So that's pretty aggressive. That's like I said. There's a red green deck that I think would be pretty cool. Yeah, so those are the multicolored rares right there, at least what we have of it right now. Do any of these uncommons you guys want to talk about?
I'm looking for stuff.
Indulging Patrician, 1 white black for 1/4. Flying Lifelink. In the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 more life this turn, each opponent loses 3 life. I think that's pretty cool. You have Twin Blade Assassins, 5 mana 5/4. Beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you get to draw a card. So limited powerhouse, in my opinion. People were talking a lot about Obsessive Stitcher. You have 1 blue black for an 0/3. You can tap it to draw a card, discard a card, or pay 4 and sack it to return to a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. I think that's pretty good.
It's alright. But I think
is it time?
Is time for the...
So there's this card, guys. There's this card that we're trying to save as a surprise, but like we said it like 30 times. They're reprinting Ugin the Spirit Dragon.
Oh my god.
Everyone, you remember Fate Reforged when all the decks were just ramping this card out? Or just playing this card straight up just because they could?
You remember the best standard I remember?
Yeah, Ugin's back, everybody. Ugin's back.
Back again.
Yeah, so you remember that this one was like $80 or something not too long ago? Now it's not.
Now it's like $20.
Yeah. I mean, this card needed to be accessible. Fate Reforged was too small of a set for that to be the only
And now it's getting printed in a bunch of arts?
Yeah, you get a bunch of cool alternate art and stuff too.
Although I think the original alternate art is going to be probably better.
Yeah.
Too bad we couldn't get like the a glass version of him. Of this one.
Yeah, well, so you got this. It's going to be standard all-star. It's already a modern card. It's already a commander card. And now there's going to be a flood of copies. It's going to be super cool. But speaking of, another commander card, multi-format card, Solemn's Alacrum, surprisingly getting a reprint in standard. 4 mana, 2/2. When it enters, you search for a land. And when it dies, you get a draw card.
I got to play it.
Wow.
That's
I
it.
think it's pretty.
That's
Like
it.
it's great that there's so many of these staples that are expensive,
Yeah.
harder to grab, and then they're just gonna flood the market with it. You know, let's get these cards in the hands of the players.
It's a commander card that we
So
skipped.
you want to talk
over.
about some of the new cards?
Yeah,
So you want to talk about Commander Orrery?
yeah, 7 mana for a legendary artifact. Now, most people would be like, that's a little too much. But you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color. I mean, that's cool. But it also taps for 5. So it kind of pays for itself pretty well. And it has 5 tap, draw a card for each color among permanents you control. That's also pretty nice. But I also think it's just nice that it makes 5 mana. Because that means you can play Eugene a lot easier.
I don't think you would need to. If you can
Looky
cast this
here,
7
bro.
mana artifact, I think
Looky
you're pretty
here,
close.
it's just a win more, bro.
I would never play this in Commander, I think.
I think there's a lot of easy ways to cheat this out of Commander.
Yeah, but it's like you can just play normal ramp.
Yeah,
and
if
use
you're,
the
if you're
same
in a
amount of
5
value.
color, yeah, if you're in a 5 color deck, you already have ramp, and you already have card draw. I don't think you need the 7 mana version of those things.
True, but there's only 2 more mana than like a Gilded Lotus.
That's a lot of mana. 2 mana is a lot of mana.
Two more mana for 2 more mana.
Does anybody want to talk about Maze Mind Tome though?
It's whatever. It's interesting. It's 2 mana for an artifact that says tap, put a page counter on the tome, describe one, or you can pay 2 and tap it to put a page counter on it, and you draw a card. And then when it reaches 4 tome counters on it, you sacrifice it. Well, you exile it, sorry. And then you gain 4 life. I mean, at most, it's going to gain you... It's like an extra card every turn for the cost of 2. For the cost of what it cost you to put it on the battlefield. So it's kind of whatever. It's not the greatest card, but I can see myself playing it in Limited.
I think it's good for decks that wouldn't normally have access to card draw if they need it.
Then play Solemn.
True. True.
There's
You want to
also-
talk about the Manticore?
Yeah,
Manticore?
it's a really interesting card. So we got a Spark Hunter Manticore. It's a 3 mana artifact creature Manticore. It's a 3/4, and as an additional cost to cast this spell, you have to discard a card. But it has protection from Planeswalkers. You pay 1, and Spark Hunter Manticore deals 1 damage to target Planeswalker. And you pay 3, and the Manticore gains indestructible till the end of the turn. So I mean, it's a 3/4 beater. That's pretty alright, and it deals 1 damage for each 1 mana you put into it to Planeswalkers.
It's the fairy's worst nightmare.
It's not just a fairy's worst nightmare. It's just not nice. It's a good counter to Ugin.
Yeah.
Because, like, Ugin's out, you're like, I can't really get through. At least the Manticore makes it so, like, he doesn't get the ult. He's also has protection from Ugin's ult.
And this might see some play in sideboards, I think.
Yeah, if you're playing against some commander deck, and you're just like, alright, I'll just play this. It's pretty alright.
I mean, I would just run it, honestly, because you can still give it indestructible.
Yeah, it's still a 3 mana indestructible creature sometimes.
That's true. Yeah, that was actually most of the cards. Tormod Script reprint, Vladimir reprint, some semi-notable. The Temples reprint, half the cycle.
Temple's back. Really pretty lands.
Yeah, the last actually super interesting things would be these ones down here. Fabled reprint, Fabled Passage reprint. It hasn't even been that long, but you know, this card's
We
here to
need
stay.
another one.
I was surprised, honestly. I did not expect that.
It's the last thing I expected. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all the lands really are reprints except for this Animal Sanctuaries. You
This
know,
is a new card, yeah.
you can tap it to put a counter on a dog, cat, goat, ox, or snake.
Whatever.
Whatever. But yeah, Fabled Passage, Radiant Fountain as well. These game lands and the scry lands. It's just reprint stuff, you know. Pretty cool. I'm fine with that. We don't need the lands to be super crazy, even though they did give us Fabled Passage, which is cool, but we don't need the other lands to be super crazy when they've given us so much great stuff like Mugen and Azusa and all these new cards like the new Planeswalkers and stuff. But yeah. Guys, what is your impression of Core 21?
Commander.
This
That's your impression?
This
It's a commander set, essentially, almost.
it's like a commander set that's making standard. It's either gonna be like really fun to play in, or it's gonna be really oppressive.
I think there's going to be a good mix of stuff, honestly.
Yeah.
It'll take some time to settle, but I think it'll be pretty good.
I'm happy and I'm scared. It just seems like standards passed.
That's good. I love Standards Pass, bro. Standard is always better when you're out of it. You just remember it. Like, yeah, I love those cards. And you remember when you were actually playing it, you're like, ugh, I hate this card. I don't know. I'm excited. I think this is it's gonna revolutionize what's going on, and it's gonna be pretty good.
I don't know. I thought Throne of Eldraine was gonna revolutionize Standard.
And then it was,
Personally, I didn't think that at the time. I didn't.
thought
I didn't
rotation-
like it that much. I don't recall like being super in love with any of the cards, and I still don't like it.
I
that
saw all the
much.
cards. I was like, this commander.
I thought rotation would have solved everything, but no, I have to wait another year.
Yeah. Hey, maybe they'll police the format a bit more
At
too.
least we can play commander.
Dude, this is for commander players. This is a dream. This is Commander Masters before they release Commander Legends.
This is just the year of the
Time
commander.
to take out all that money from the savings, boys.
Yeah, this is quite the drop for Commander players. You know, so many new cards that are good, and so many reprints that are now more accessible, like Grim Tutor and Ugin and stuff. Like, this is a real good set. I think if you're someone who's like buying a sealed product and stuff, this is a good one to grab. Yeah. Plus, you get Ren and Sari. Yeah. I think we already went over the Planeswalker decks. So without anything else, I think we've went on a long time with this. We rushed through some stuff, but that was because we're already going to go kind of long. We usually do with these set reviews, but you know, we went over it. We have some more openings and stuff that's going to come up pretty soon, and we apologize for the longer hiatus. You know, everyone knows there's stuff going on and made it kind of harder to get stuff done. A little bit of some fiascos. So you will be seeing us pretty soon with some more openings. We'll be recording the podcast a little bit more often. And yeah, you guys have anything else to say before we go?
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
What they're saying.
This is a blooper, bro.
You see the bloopers, bro. Welcome to the blooper reel. Hey everybody, bloopers. So Angel, this is the outtakes bloopers. What do you think about Fernley's opinion that this podcast is a steak?
Well, you know, it's a little too well done for me, but you know.
That's what I must say. MMmtg podcast, that is well done. This is a well done podcast. That is the one thing people always tell me. They come to me and they say, Miles, MMmtg podcast is a well done podcast, bro.
I mean, if you're saying that the MMmtg podcast is a well done steak, then I'm sorry.
Are you saying that MMmtg podcast is not a well done steak, bro?
You want your steak medium rare, man.
Depends on who you are, bro. Sometimes you want your MMmtg podcast medium well. Sometimes you want your MMmtg podcast rare.
Over here to take a shit.
Fernley, opinion. You have to eat a steak. Rare, medium well,
Extremely well.
extremely
I
well.
want it crispy, bro.
I want that crispy black steak. I want to eat charcoal, bro. I put my hand, I skip the steak, and I go straight to the charcoal. I just eat the charcoal out of the grill.
Bro, exactly.
If you can't tell the steak apart from the charcoal, that's a good steak.